Knots.
The Hawk Knot in the Brady Sullivan Plaza at 1000 Elm Street.
Trust Grolan Computers. Located on Elm Street in Manchester, Grolan handles computer repair, virus removal, and custom-built systems. Are you looking for budget-friendly options? Check out our selection of fully inspected used computers. We offer tailored, on-site solutions. No unnecessary expenses here. Visit Grolan.com or call Grolan Computers at 603-645-0101. Your tech, your way.
Diz's Cafe is the place to put a smile on your face. Judy and the crew will take care of you. Bring your appetite and treat your taste buds right. Diz's Cafe is always a winning choice. Breakfast, lunch, or supper. Diz's Cafe at 860 Elm Street in downtown Manchester. Dine in, take out, or make a reservation. Call 603-606-2532. Eat, drink, and be happy. Diz's Cafe.
Behold the harmony of airwaves as you immerse yourself in the captivating frequencies of WMNHLP, the sonic heartbeat of Manchester, transcending through the ether at 95.3 megahertz frequency modulation. Our transmissions emanate from the zenith of 1000 Elm Street. Venture into the heart of our creative realm at 119 Canal Street, where innovation and sound collide. We bear the imprimatur of Manchester Public Television Service in the venerable city of Manchester, New Hampshire, USA. Enrich your auditory journey with the depth of our licensed resonance. Dispatch your missives to WMNH953@gmail.com or traverse the virtual corridors of WMNHradio.org. Engage with our sonic vibrations by communing with us through the digital channels. Your radio beckons, eager to enthrall you with its mesmerizing cadence and envelop you in a symphony of boundless auditory wonder.
to love? Am I looking to bend? Is it obvious how I want to see you again? How I wish you could see your smile through my eyes, and the thoughts that I share towards the curves that you hide. And I called out of shit when I thought that you said one day you'll learn to love me again. Sailing away with a map that's been lost at the sea. And I called out of shit when I thought that you said one day you'll learn to love me again. But now I don't know what to do. The only truth I know is you. The day it was young, but the feeling was right. How you stowed me away, you couldn't wait for the night. And it poured like a storm with a thunderous cry. In the waves of your kiss, I knew you would be mine. And I called out of shit when I thought that you said one day you'll learn to love me again. Sailing away with a map that's been lost at the sea. And I called out of shit when I thought that you said one day you'll learn to love me again. But now I don't know what to do. The only truth I know is you. Back to that first memory, a trip to this small town. With your blue hair and eyes, the way you looked at me, I knew I'd finally be found. And I called out of shit when I thought that you said one day you'll learn to love me again. Sailing away with a map that's been lost at the sea. And I called out of shit when I thought that you said one day you'll learn to love me again. But now I don't know what to do. The only truth I know is you.
Listening to WMNH 95.3. The commander to the supreme leader, Matzo coming down.
morning, everybody. Happy Saturday. It is that time again. Matt Connarton Unleashed, and we are live from the studios of WMNH 95.3 FM in glorious Manchester, New Hampshire. And of course, for all your live streaming options, social media links, contact info, and so forth, you can go to my website, mattconnerton.com. And actually, we have a new page set up. If you go to mattconnerton.com/live, it is easier than ever to stream the show from anywhere in the world. And of course, we do love our local listeners right here in Manchester as well at 95.3 FM. It is Saturday, March 9, 2024, and I am not alone.
Good morning, sunshine.
Jenny is here at the news table.
Present and accounted for.
Yes. And we've got a great show for you today. And we have joining us live in studio. Let me get that mic up there. Eric, I'm still not sure I know how to say your last name. Although I don't know if you even want to, if you want to give your last name, because you have you go by Temple Mountain musically.
It's in Parliament, but yeah, Temple. Hi, thank you for having me, by the way.
Yeah, absolutely. Oh yeah, we'll move that mic up. That mic is drooping. We might have to. Yeah, we might have to adjust it.
I'll play with it.
Yeah, Temple Mountain, and you're gonna. Whoop. We're still getting used to the new setup here. Actually, let me mute that mic while Jenny adjusts. Jenny's playing roadie. But Temple Mountain live in studio, he's going to play for us today. We actually just featured one of his studio tracks. Great song called Transference. Really, really good. What a beautiful voice Eric has. And so really looking forward to hearing him play live, and we'll get to know him a bit. And in the third hour today, we have Casey Daron, and he's got his project SOTAH, which is SOTAH. He's going to be joining us in the third hour today, and really looking forward to that as well. He's been on the show before. But it's been a little while. When was the last time Casey Daron was on? It was probably more than a year ago, right?
Yeah.
At least a year?
Yeah, it's been a while. It has been a while. I'm excited to have him come back in. They've got new material we haven't gotten here, and they're doing more. So it'd be cool to get to have him in there. He's just a great guy anyway. I really like him.
Absolutely.
He's the singing bassist.
And if you have any questions or feedback or anything for our guests today, you can call. The studio line is open, 603-250-6007, 603-250-6007. Also, I mentioned the new page, mattconnerton.com/live. If you go there, for those of you who maybe don't use Facebook, you can, because we do stream on Facebook. So, we've got the Facebook live chat and everything. But you can also go to mattconnerton.com/live, and there's a chat option there that is separate from social media if you prefer. Or you can even direct message me right through that page now. That's a new, I didn't even tell you about that, did I?
No, I thought you were going to say texting, but now you get a direct message on
It's a surprise,
I have to go look.
Yeah, if you go to mattconnerton.com/live.
I know where your website.
You could, yes. Well, but I want the listeners to know. If you go to mattconnerton.com/live, there's a feature there. You can direct message me during the show. And I just have to make sure I remember to keep an eye on it. But so for those of you who are not interested in using Facebook, the social media. But so by the way, so Eric, where does the name Temple Mountain come from? Why do you call your project that?
I'm still trying to figure that one out, but I do live on Temple Mountain in Peterborough. There's it's a mountain called Temple Mountain, and it just felt right. Like I remember I was just like walking one day, or I might have even been doing a run, and like I was like, oh, Temple Mountain, that'd be a cool name.
Yeah.
There's a lot of singer-songwriters like Tallest Man on Earth who like, they just they give a different pseudonym, and I was like, yeah, that works.
Yeah, cool. Yeah. And that track Transference that we opened with, that is fantastic.
Thank you.
From the album Schema, which is a full length. How many tracks?
10 songs.
10 songs.
Yeah.
Where did you record?
In my room.
No kidding.
Yeah, in a very untreated acoustic room on a very low budget.
Well, I'll tell you what. Well, it sounds great. And
Thank you.
I always say this comes up a lot on the show that it's we're blessed to live in a time where technology gives us so many different options.
Oh yeah.
As far as how we record, I'm old enough to remember when you had to go to a studio and spend tons and tons of money, and you can still do that. And there's some amazing studios around, but you can also record in your bedroom, in your living room. You can. There's no shortage of different approaches you can take and get a really great sound.
And time isn't a factor either anymore, which is incredible. Like you can make mistakes and you could actually incorporate those mistakes into the record if you want. Like it's really it's very pulchritudinous in a sense.
The full album done that way?
Yeah. I did everything but master it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Who did you go through for mastering?
Dynamic Sound Studios in Michigan.
Okay.
Yeah, Blake's a great guy.
Okay. Very good. Well, I'm dying to hear you play live. And let me... we're working with some new stuff here. Let me see if we can get that. I've got another mic on your guitar. Yeah, go ahead and play for us, Eric, if you would. Oh, well, I know why I'm not hearing anything. I think. Boy, that is quiet. It's for some reason.
Should I like try and
tap that mic if you would. Yeah, I'm not hearing anything coming out of that for some reason.
Dun, 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 dun.
Oh, wait a second. I think I might have figured out the problem here.
Almost there.
I think.
The guitar has a nice sound to it.
Ooh,
thank you. This guitar is why I got back into music. Actually, her name is Sierra.
Ooh, do you name all of your instruments?
Yeah, I do. I don't know.
Do you also play like electric or?
I'm really bad at electric.
Are you?
Yeah, I tried to do. I was like a shredder back in the day.
Oh, no kidding.
Is this your favorite guitar?
Yeah, I love this thing.
Go ahead and play a little more, Eric, please.
There's such a warm sound to it. I like it.
Thank you.
There we go.
Hear it?
Yeah. Yeah, that sounds nice.
Okay.
Actually, let me just kind of playing with the gain a little bit here.
Gonna do it on the fly. Oh, Dylan. Hi, Dylan. In the chat room, say hi to you. Says the new studio is looking good.
Oh, thank you. Yes, Dylan Reynolds, very, very talented musician.
Absolutely.
Yeah, he says in the chat room, I use the Ozone 11 VST plugin for mastering all my stuff now. A little pricey, but it makes for a totally professional final sound.
Say good morning to Rhonda.
Yeah, cool.
Very good early morning in California, so she's up early. This is like 3 hours behind us.
Yes, indeed.
Thank you for getting up with us. Morning, Miriam. I see you in the chat room.
We have our friend from Uganda in the chat. Also, Darlene Hill, who has been on the show.
Band named Darling Hill said I just discovered Temple Mountain this week. So awesome. You're featuring him. I can't wait to get to know more about him.
Absolutely.
Yeah, so they're great. They're a great band. Oh. Yeah, so you're getting a lot of love in the chat room already, and all they've heard is the studio track, and there's so much more to come.
Well, all right, Eric.
I did a live concert.
Whenever you're ready, let's hear something. Whatever you want to play.
Sure. This is a song of mine called Diagnosis. It's a nice way to warm up in the morning.
All right.
Is it on? Check again. There's no heat, but it drives me away. And it's all in my head. I wish it all goes away. Up again, 2 a.m. Only 14 words left to this page. And it's all in my head. I wish it all goes away. But then just like before, now your mind asks for more, always fading. And all you adore seems to haunt you for more, but it's pain. What stops you from holding the sky is the same breath that keeps you alive. But when two hearts in tempo collide, what's to complain? Crooked lines make them straight. Ties a knot with a nail torn to face. And it's all in my head. I wish it all goes away. Felt this way some stay up for days, always asking something more, locked me in a haze. I've been known to make mistakes, and I swear that I've seen better days. And it's all in my head, I wish it all goes away. But then just like before, now you're mine, ask for more, always fading. And all you adore seems to haunt you for more, but it's pain. What stops you from holding the sky is the same breath that keeps you alive. But when two hearts in tempo collide, what's to complain? 'Cause it's all in my head, I wish it all goes away.
Oh, that is beautiful.
Wow. That was awesome.
Fantastic.
Really awesome. I don't know what you were worried about. Your voice sounds fantastic.
Oh, thank you.
If you're just joining us, we have Temple Mountain here with us live in studio. And that sounded great. Now on the album, is it all you? Do you have any collaborators or?
No, it's just me. It was recorded in like a month. I've had these songs maybe since I started my undergrad, so like 2 years ago.
Yeah.
And well, I've had songs since 2 years ago, and I've been writing, and I just wanted to prove to myself that I could make something that I hear in my head. And I wanted it to sound very lo-fi. Like I love the sound of tape hiss from like 60s recordings.
Oh, wow.
So, yeah, I just wanted to make it sound as like organic from what I consider organic and stuff like that as possible.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Have you only performed solo, or have you ever played in a band or?
In high school, I played in like a death metal band.
Oh, no kidding. Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
I would not have thought.
But no, I've only been solo. But I think the songs I've been writing lately, I think would really be fun to have a band. I've actually kind of been writing a bit more poppy lately, and
Oh, really? Yeah.
Yeah. I would love to have some drums with it and stuff like that.
Oh, no kidding. Okay. Very cool. Eric from Temple Mountain is here. If you have any questions or feedback or anything at all, the studio line is open this morning, 603-250-6007, 603-250-6007. Of course, we're on the Facebook. I see J-Fed and Melanie from the great state of Vermont.
You're getting a little love from Vermont for your beard.
Oh.
Yes,
Melanie and Jason are enamored of beards, and they do judge you.
Oh.
I'm just warning.
No, that's okay. I use beard products. We can talk about that.
Oh,
oh yeah.
She's actually admiring your beard, so you are getting I see a beard with a heart, so she's liking it.
Good.
Yeah.
Heart.
And J-Fed is always encouraging people to grow out their beards.
Yeah.
He believes they should be longer.
I did. I just shaved mine down recently.
Oh, no kidding.
Yeah. I get curly hair, so it I don't know. I do it for like 4 months, and then I look in the mirror one day, and it's very spontaneous, and I regret it instantly.
Yeah, I never let mine get. It starts to itch, and
that's a good look for you, though.
Yeah, I keep it. I this is as much facial hair as you'll see on me, really. But now, do you play out a lot? Do you do a lot of shows?
I'm trying. I just started in January, playing live.
Yeah.
I have a show actually on Monday in Guilford at Patrick's Pub.
Oh.
Yeah.
Excellent.
Nice.
And then I'm playing Nova Arts March 30th. I'm playing in Vermont on the 14th.
Oh, did you hear that, Melanie, Jason? Coming to Vermont.
Bar 580 in Brattleboro.
Okay.
Yeah.
Excellent.
Yeah, thank you.
Brattleboro, that's right on the border, right? Is that close to the?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. I think I know exactly where that is.
Beautiful. It's a beautiful little town. I love Brattleboro so much.
Yeah. Now, you're originally from New York, is that correct?
Yeah. I grew up in Long Island, and then I moved out to this city when I was 22.
Okay.
Yeah.
This has been a
real
trend.
New Yorker.
Yes, a real New Yorker. We've had a number of people who
lately, yeah.
Kenny Troon, he lived in New York for a while.
Yep, came to New Hampshire. See, all these people are in their right minds now, so they're
also
coming to New Hampshire.
Sure.
The
it's our tax-free status.
The drummer from what's the name of the band?
Which one?
We were supposed to see them, and then the show got rescheduled.
Oh,
of the blizzard.
Thieves.
Oh, Run Like Thieves.
Run Like Thieves.
Yeah, he's
I know them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The I forget his name now. Santini's his last name. What's his first name? I can't remember. The drummer, he moved here from New York.
Yeah, a lot of people do it, and it's very funny because now every time I go back to the city, I get like, and this was never the case growing up, but I get like anxiety. I'm like, oh my God, was it always this dirty? Was it always like all like these people here and stuff like that?
Yeah.
You don't notice it when you're like living it, and now it's very noticeable when you like live in the woods 24/7.
Yeah, no doubt. Yeah, that is a big change. So why the change? What brought you here?
A bad breakup, I guess you could say, and
Yeah.
I just needed music. I was doing music back then, and it wasn't working out. I was just not taking myself seriously. I wasn't taking good care of myself, and I was very lucky to have parents who were like, come up here and spend a year to think about things. And what happened was I was actually about to leave for Austin, Texas, and like a month before that happened, I met someone, and I was like, okay. And I still went to Austin, Texas, but then I moved back here, and we've been together ever since. So,
Oh, very cool. Oh, congratulations.
Thank you.
Now, why, when you were planning to go to Austin, what was the reason? Was it the music scene there?
Cost of living too.
Oh, really?
Yeah, the cost of living was really good, and I didn't do the research like I would have done now. I was just like, yeah, Austin would be cool.
Right. Yeah, that is a great city.
Oh, it's beautiful.
Absolutely. Do you want to play another? I'm dying to hear more. Do you want to play another one? Another live one for us?
Yeah.
If you're just joining us, Temple Mountain is here with us live in studio, and we've been talking, and we'll get that guitar mic back on there. And it sounds amazing.
Yeah, I'm actually releasing after this interview. I'm releasing the official video for this song.
Oh, no
on
kidding.
YouTube. Yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
cool.
Very excited.
What song is it?
It's called Interpersonal Relationships.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Very good.
Seems I've only met you, it's falling down like rain. It's all the ways you make me feel and cry. So won't you take my hand and help me understand? As we sit still, the world is passing by. I recognize the mistrust, I experience the pain. I see the way that men can tend to lie. So I'll work hard each day and think of how to say, I'm here to love, not here to change your mind. For you know when I were so focused on the way you're making sounds. For you know it's time for you to go, but I'll think about the next time you're around. Cause I made you a promise I can't break, but I think I found a way to compromise. For history will show the way you helped me grow. We'll make a pretty friendship, you and I. For you know when I were so focused on the way you're making sounds. For you know it's time for you to go, but I'll think about the next time you're around. Cause I made you a promise I won't break, but I think I found a way to compromise. For history will show the way you helped me grow. Make a pretty friendship, you and I. Make a pretty friendship, you and I.
Oh, that is beautiful.
Thank you.
What is that called again?
Interpersonal relationships.
Interpersonal relationships.
That was awesome.
Temple Mountain is here with us live in studio this morning on Matt Connarton Unleashed. If you have any questions or feedback or anything at all for Eric, the studio line is open, 603-250-6007, 603-250-6007. Of course, you can also interact and opine in the Facebook live chat. You can also comment at mattconnerton.com/live. And I did fix it, by the way. I noticed there was a problem with the page a few minutes ago, but I did fix it.
And for those paying attention in the chat room, I am dropping you some links in there. You can reach out to Temple Mountain's Facebook page as well as their music page of their own, their website, templemountainmusic.com. But drop those links in there for you guys so you can take a peek.
Darlene Hill in the chat room, Kate says, I listened to this song on Insta. It's what got me.
Nice.
Very nice. Very nice. And Miriam Banish joins us in the Facebook live chat and says, I like it. Stacey Hannings. I think you might know.
I know.
I think you might know Stacey Hannings. So we were talking earlier.
Let's not talk about her. No.
Well, she did leave a nice comment. She said, "Oh, that's all him. We joke he has more products than I do."
Oh,
he's talking about my beard. Yeah.
Yep.
Oh, the beard. Yes,
Yeah.
yes. B. Pinard joins us and says, "Good morning, everyone." Oh, okay. I see. She was responding to Melanie's comment. Melanie said, okay, be honest. Did you introduce him to the beard products?
No. She's a farm girl. She's a hardworking lady. And no, she's not she's just like, she's very simple, likes to live the simple life.
Oh, she also said, that's my guy. So proud. Very nice.
Thanks, Stacy.
Very nice. Yes. Welcome, Stacy. A lot of talk of
you're getting a lot of love.
Beard.
A lot of love.
Oh, cool.
Beard products.
Brave Before Shave. That's what I use, if anyone's curious.
Oh.
Yeah. The Bay Rum scent. I really am a fan.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Jason will know what you're talking about without a doubt.
Most likely.
My sister also got me a Tom Ford one, so like a high-end one.
Yeah.
I don't like it as much.
Really?
Yeah. Yeah. I like that Bay Rum smell.
Oh.
Nice.
Rhonda Favero says, sounds a little like Cat Stevens' beautiful voice.
Ah, that's awesome.
Well, that leads me to a question. Talk to us about influences, because you do remind me of Cat Stevens a bit,
Mm-hmm.
but I can hear some other things as well.
Yeah, I think the three biggest ones for me are obviously the Beatles. I love the Beatles. I have a Beatles moment once a month. Elliott Smith is another one. He's not really a familiar name, but he was like a 90s folk singer.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I'm obsessed. And John Mayer, just because for me, everything that he plays just makes my legs kind of shake. So
Nice.
I love his music a lot. But I love a lot of music. I love 60s folk songs, which I'm kind of embedded in that type of tradition where my mom grew me up on Peter, Paul, and Mary and Paul Simon and Joni Mitchell.
Yeah.
I love jazz a lot. I love Chet Baker. I love classical music. I don't know. There's so much. And with Spotify now, it's you're always just discovering more and more. It's overwhelming.
Yeah, absolutely. John DePietro is in the Facebook live chat. Hi, John. He says, wow, Eric is impressive. Yeah, absolutely.
Thank you.
And of course, you can find him as Temple Mountain online. I'm curious, do people ever contact you thinking that you're a band because of the name Temple Mountain?
Not yet, but I'm just not. It's still too early. So,
it'll happen. It'll happen. But I guess if you ever do decide to bring in other people,
or the more interesting question is, will I allude that I'm a band to get the gig?
Yeah. Yes.
I can be sneaky sometimes.
There you go. There you go.
He's thinking. He's a thinker. Yeah. Oh my gosh! Because we were talking earlier, you're starting to play out now. Now you're really looking to get out into the clubs and get into play.
Absolutely. Yeah, I love it, and I'm surprised with how much I'm enjoying live music. Because when I was in New York, I didn't really like playing live. I would do it, but I felt uncomfortable. And something happened in my 30s when I'm just like, ooh, this is nice.
No kidding.
Excellent.
Now, have you released anything else other than the album that?
Not yet. I'm releasing a video, like I said, after this interview.
Yeah.
And my goal is I would like to have another record by the end of this year. I have some songs in mind and stuff like that. I'm also doing, I forget the name of the studio, Lee Van Studios in Brooklyn. I'll be doing a campaign for that, and they do direct to vinyl recordings.
Oh, no kidding.
Yeah.
Oh,
so
cool.
I'll be doing 2 songs for that, and it's personal records and stuff like that. I'm very excited about that.
Now, what should we know about the video that you're going to be releasing after the interview?
It's for that song, Interpersonal Relationships. It was recorded by a guy named Omega Keen. His name's Max, actually, and he's in Keene, and he did a really great job. We kind of tried to make it almost look like the album cover, so it's in black and white, and it's got a bluish kind of hue to it. Mm-hmm. And it's a very simple music video. It's just me playing and performing and trying to look as cool as I possibly could look. Which was it wasn't an easy task, and he succeeded, in my opinion. So I appreciate it.
Is it your first music video?
Yeah. Technically, I used to go by Eric Phillip, and if you scroll the internet, you can find some slightly embarrassing videos of me playing to that name. But other than that, this is the first time I've ever done something like professionally and actually invested money into like my art and my dreams.
Yeah. Well, why were you Eric Phillip? Is Phillip your middle name?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. And my name is apparently named after Disney characters. I like to bring that out. So Eric is the prince from Little Mermaid.
Oh.
And Phillip is the prince from Sleeping Beauty.
Oh, no kidding. No. Cool. Carol Zawarowitz joins us in the Facebook live chat. Hi, Carol. Miriam said she said, Cat Stevens, I was trying to think of who he reminded me of, kind of took me back in time. Yeah, I asked about, if you had other material, only because you strike me as someone who's probably always writing. I assume you've got a lot of ideas that you haven't.
It comes and goes. I'm in grad school at the moment, so
yeah.
Like sometimes when I get home, the first thing I do is I just pick up the guitar and something will come out.
Yeah.
But I'll get writer's block for sure. And when I get that, yeah. Oh yeah. And when I get that, that's really difficult. Like, I don't know. I just don't want things to always sound the same. Like I can't, and I love music that does this, but I can't ever just do very simple, like bar chords. I need to my fingers need to be moving. Like it's the ADHD in me.
Yeah.
So I don't know. When it comes, I do get writer's block, but once it breaks, then I have I'll write 10 songs.
Do you remember the first song you ever wrote?
I do. It's called 1993. I don't remember it by heart. I remember the riff. The riff was like something like that.
Yeah.
And I'm not gonna sing it, but
yeah,
it was oof. Yeah, it took me. I'm still not very happy with my voice, and I say that. Yeah, I say that in a good way. Like I'm always searching, but I did not sing with confidence 5 years ago.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What got you to be able to sing with more confidence? Have you taken lessons, or are you
self-taught? Prozac for sure. Yeah. Be honest, just psychopharmacology, done ethically and properly, helped a lot.
Yeah. Good. You struggle with depression, I assume?
I didn't realize it.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then now I see life much different perspective.
Yeah.
So yeah. If in my family, intrusive thoughts, I think are definitely a thing. And then my sister, who's a neurologist, she was just like, "Have you thought about this?" Gave it a try, and it's you breathe.
Oh, no kidding.
Yeah.
No kidding. Oh, that's good.
Yeah.
That's good. You want to play another song for
Sure.
us? If you're just joining us, Temple Mountain is here with us, live in studio, sounding amazing.
Sure. This song's called Unconditional.
All right.
All I see is you, my thoughts can't be alone. Oh, falling through the sky, I was thinking I'd fly, but you caught me in your arms. And the day I was gonna tell you that I saw a heartbeat in my songs, but dreams, they fade away, and someday you'll be gone. Been running out of lines, been staying up too long, thinking how we've never met, and I'm willing to make a bet that you're treating us so wrong. And the day I was gonna tell you that I felt a rose by its thorns, and I'm hands they bled, but I knew someday I'd be yours. That dance with you, the moment so divine, like a blanket I held tight. I always fear the unknown, but with you the unknown feels so right. So I keep my eyes on you, keep you locked inside my mind. And it's so hard just to see how every part of me is just a shadow in the night. And the day I was gonna tell you that I saw breath than fantasy.
Our friends from Vermont said, I love that he just said that promoting good mental health is fantastic. And
I agree.
She also said, mental health is health. It really shouldn't be separate from medical care. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah,
absolutely. Do you have songs that deal with that subject specifically?
So just this album I just finished in December my undergrad in psychology, and I'm starting grad school now. And, you know, an undergrad degree in psychology can't really do much outside in the field. So I was like, well, I put all this money into it, might as well make my album based on it.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Okay.
So all the songs are based on psychological terms to a certain degree.
I wondered about that. You know, like I saw Transference, for example.
Yeah.
It's like, you know, that's I know a little. You know, I'm a hypnotherapist, so I know.
Yeah, I saw that.
Some very basic psychology, but I did notice that. Yeah, diagnosis and.
Yeah, and they're loosely based on those terms. I should emphasize because.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Did you go into the project intending that, or did that happen organically?
It happened organically. Yeah, I think I've had other names for some of these songs. In fact, I also struggle with names, like naming my songs. So I don't know. It just felt right, and I always like concept albums in a sense. Like in a way, it doesn't have to be a full concept, but like how many themes can you add to the record, and then how can you incorporate those themes into the following record? So, for example, I'm thinking for my next album, my album covers like blue. It's black and white with a bluish hue, and I'm thinking doing something similar but with a different color. So, keep the theme going.
Okay.
Oh, nice.
Very cool. Very cool.
Spoiler alert.
Yes. We have time. You want to play another one?
Yeah, I can figure something out.
We're if you're just joining us, we have Temple Mountain here with us live in studio. The album is called Schema, and this is great. And you sound amazing live. I mean, the tracks, you know, sound great too, the studio tracks. And we'll play another studio song at the top of the hour, but you sound fantastic
Thanks
live.
for saying that.
Yeah.
Appreciate you.
Absolutely.
Yeah. I'm gonna play. This is the newest song I recorded for the album before I released it. It's called Secure Bass.
Okay.
Yeah.
I wouldn't believe it's true that I found someone just like you. Now I'm floating around a star with you, God in my heart. One day my eyes will turn blue, green will cover your hair roots, red lights will stream from afar with you, God in my heart. And the night's all around when I hold you and say, the good life's a dance with each step we take. Love's not defined, love is made. I want to be all of you, wise, full of life, strong and cute. Growing old doesn't sound bizarre with you, God in my heart. And the night's all around when I hold you and say, the good life's a dance with each step we take. Love's not defined, love is made. And we'll travel the world, we'll make what is ours, holding hands with a might. And I'll tell you I love you each night, and I'll tell you I love you each night. cover your hair roots. Red lights will stream from afar with you guiding my heart. And the night's all around when I hold you and say, the good life's a dance. With each step we take, love's not defined, love is made. Love's not defined, love is made.
Beautiful. Temple Mountain with us live in studio here on Matt Connarton Unleashed. And by the way, I was noticing on Bandcamp this quote, the good life is a process, not a state of being. It is a direction, not a destination.
I appreciate you.
Carl Rogers, yeah. Tell us about that. What does that quote mean to you? Why is that there?
Well, it's funny. That was good timing because that song's based on that quote. So like the chorus is "The good life's a dance." It's just like a rephrasing of it.
Yeah.
I don't know. I think I just love Carl Rogers. I think client-centered therapy is like just so beautiful, and like I'm so fascinated by it. And I'm sure he has his imperfections like all of us do, but I just really find him inspiring. And that line just kind of reminds me to just breathe. Mm-hmm. Right? You know, like take it. And I've really grown to love my mistakes, and I've made quite a few of them in life. And I've grown to really see how those mistakes have evolved me into a person that I quite enjoy. I don't wake up feeling elated anymore. I wake up feeling really proud of myself. And yeah, I think that comes from knowing what not to do.
Right.
And in order to know what not to do, you have to do it sometimes.
Sure. Yeah, it's part of learning. Absolutely. No, I think, and that's good advice. Good advice for people. Now, what do you have coming up? We talked about, and we'll remind people too before we wrap about the video that's going to be released right after the interview. Mm-hmm. But what else do you have coming up as far as do you have shows this weekend that you want to plug or?
No, I have a family dinner tonight. So Monday I'm playing on the 11th. I'm playing in Guilford. I'm playing at Patrick's Pub.
Okay,
I'm going to be the featured artist that night. I'm very excited.
Excellent. Do you have and sometimes, you know, from my own experience, I don't play anymore, but I've played in a lot of bands and whatnot. And, do you have anybody that you kind of team up with? Because sometimes that happens organically. Where is there someone that you play a lot of shows with?
Not yet, but I've grown to meet a couple of cool cohorts, if you would, that I would love to shout out. Like, I really love this band, Modern Fools.
Okay.
Yeah, Josh is an incredible songwriter and very, very talented musician. And he just does a lot of the sound and stuff like that. And the whole band in that is incredible. John is the guitar player for that band. He does his own stuff. He's fantastic. Ian Gallipo is a bass player for that band. He also does singer-songwriter stuff.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Have we... Either we've had him on or I've met him.
Oh, he writes beautiful stuff. He just released a song called, I believe it's called The Little Things.
Okay.
And that song is gorgeous. There's also a guy named Dylan Patrick Ward who I'm hoping to do some shows with, and he writes just incredible music.
Okay.
Yeah.
Very good. Do you think you'll ever collaborate with any of these folks? Or?
I would love to. Yeah. I feel like we were talking about earlier with recording, because you have the access to record, there's really no reason why you shouldn't collaborate nowadays.
Right, yeah.
Yeah. I would love to hear what like certain sounds would work together, because, for example, Modern Fools, they kind of do like alt country. Mm-hmm. So I don't personally do that. So I feel like it would be very cool to see what the combination of that would be.
Yeah, no doubt. Very good. And where should people go to find you online? Is there do you have a central hub, or where should people go to find Temple Mountain?
So TempleMountainMusic.com for sure. And then all my social links will be on there. And I definitely would say I use Instagram as my main connect with my, audience, if you will.
Yeah.
So that's the one I personally like to use the most. I try to avoid, I love Facebook, but I also try to equally avoid it as possible for my own mental health.
Yeah, that's interesting that you say that. I know that there have been no shortage of studies that show that when people either take a break or find a way to avoid entirely Facebook, their mental health improves.
Photos don't really hold debates, right? So on Instagram, you see photos of people just living their lives.
Right.
And I'm not saying there's not issues with that either, but at least for me, it's very calming and relaxing. Where on Facebook, I just it's like, for me, it's personally like watching the news, which is a beautiful thing and an important thing to do. But it gets really sad very quickly for me.
Yeah, yeah. There's a lot of negativity, and it's hard to, for example, working in this medium. I don't have the luxury of just kind of disconnecting from Facebook, but I've also kind of learned to just just let it roll off.
Yeah,
you know?
I imagine also in your case, like you also get this like privilege of you can use your voice for like now you can direct a higher voice to like kind of help the community more than anything else, which is incredible.
Oh, thank you. Yeah, that's what we try to do. But yeah, there is a lot of Facebook and Reddit is the other one that comes to mind.
Yeah, I always forget about Reddit. But
what a cesspool Reddit is! My God,
Reddit's an interesting one.
The horrible things you can find.
It used to be way worse too. Like it's really getting regulated more and more. I don't know if that's a good thing or not. I use YouTube a lot too. Like YouTube to me is one of the most important like websites of all time.
Oh, absolutely, absolutely.
It is literally an educated source of knowledge if you want it to be.
But of course, there's trolls on YouTube.
Yeah.
But for somehow it's almost, maybe it's because you don't have direct. It's not like in the comment section of a video you can really have a direct conversation with someone. It's just people commenting at each other. So if a troll leaves something nasty, I think it's easier to just kind of let it roll off you, because it's like, well, it's not like you're replying directly to. Well, you can reply directly to their comment, but people don't really bother on YouTube.
I'm always baffled about people commenting on YouTube personally, like, because every time I watch a video, there's just I never go like, oh, I'm gonna comment on this.
Yeah.
I never have this instinct to do it, but like you look and it's like, oh, 100,000 other people did. So.
Yeah. I'll give it a thumbs up if I like it, but I very rarely comment. But sometimes, and sometimes the negative comments are.
Oh, some of them are brilliant.
Yeah. You see some really interesting stuff. Well, before we get to the top of the hour, and by the way, we are going to play another studio track before we close out, but remind us about the video. This is very important. Right after the interview, this is going to drop?
Yeah, I'm going to upload it onto YouTube with my iPhone. It's called Interpersonal Relationships. I played it earlier, and I'm really excited. Yeah, please, any love and support would help. It only helps.
Yeah, absolutely. So we encourage people to... That'll be on Temple Mountain. That's the name of the YouTube channel, I assume?
Temple Mountain Music.
Mountain Music. Okay, very good. And we will also close out the segment with another studio track from Schema, but I'll let you pick. What should we play?
Oh, if you guys like harmonicas, my opening track, Countertransference, has a harmonica.
Oh, yeah. Do you play the harmonica on that?
I like tried.
Yeah.
There was a harmonica holder at a Guitar Center, and I couldn't keep my eyes off of it.
Yeah.
And I was just like, I'm gonna buy this, and then I wrote a song with it. Yeah.
Do you do the thing where you're playing guitar and you're playing the harmonica?
I haven't done it live yet, but I'm going to be. I'm gonna be doing it this Monday for the first time. Yeah.
I don't know how you do that.
I don't know if I would do it like permanently, like. Because it's a sound, right?
Yeah.
And it's been done, but I wanted to have one song. Like all my favorite artists, like the Beatles have a harmonica song. Elliott Smith has a harmonica song. John Mayer has a harmonica song. This is my harmonica song.
Yeah, we had, I don't know if you know Nick Rolser. We had him on the show a couple of years ago now. Oh, Nick is amazing.
Yeah.
But he does that. I was talking to him about it. And I said to him the same thing I said to you. I said, because he mentioned the harmonica, he mentioned a harmonica holder. I said, do you do the thing? And when I said the thing, he knew exactly what I meant. He said, oh, yeah, I do that. And I've just always been fascinated by it, because when you do that, you're literally playing two instruments at once, which is, I guess in a way it's...
With singing too,
I guess in a way it's no different than singing and playing, but
if anything,
still,
it's easier, because with singing, you have to like remember that you speak. And like with harmonica, at least the way I play, because I'm playing very, very poorly, it's just... I'm just blowing into the thing.
Right.
So it's more about making sure you have enough breath into it. So you have to like breathe the right way, if anything.
Yeah.
And you have to like use your ear to make sure your pitches are right. Because again, I have no idea what I'm doing on it. I know it's a G major or a C major scale, but like I don't know like, oh, the G's right here. Right.
Right. Yeah. No, that makes sense. But very cool. So we'll give this a listen. Countertransference. This is, of course, Temple Mountain. And Eric, thank you so much for joining us today. This has been amazing.
Thank you so much for having me.
Absolutely. We will do it again in the future. And don't forget the new video. It's going to drop in right after the interview. So very cool, very cool. All right, so here it is. We will close out the segment with this, but everybody else, stick around. We got plenty more show to come. But here it is. This is Countertransference. The album is Schema, and the artist is Temple Mountain.
When you are looking for something that you notice that nothing surrounds, but when the world that you have, it starts crumbling with the answers you left being found. There's a feeling you have in the morning, there's a breath that is taking you home. But at night is when your dreams are forming, and your words are now writing this poem. Times when I'm thinking of dying, how I wish there were ones I could save, and their graves never asked for my crying. So now I'm the one lost in this cave. Nowhere but home, now you're alone. How you feeling tonight? So rethink your goals, for now you don't know if you'll ever feel right. But there's a hope in the friends who are caring. There's a light at the end of the road, and while driving at night can be daring, we are stars and we're guiding you home. There's a light at the end of the road, and while driving at night can be daring, we are stars and we're guiding you home.
Come on down to the Hop Knot at 1000 Elm Street, Manchester's premier craft beer and gourmet pretzel bar. Tell us more, Trudy.
We make our dough fresh every day. We make a variety of styles of pretzels and serve craft beer, cocktails, and a few bottles of wine. We do the traditional pretzel, and we have multiple flavors for that. We also do stuffed pretzels, pretzel sandwiches, 3 dessert pretzels, and pretzel knots.
The Hop Knot in the Brady Sullivan Plaza at 1000 Elm Street.
Bring your kitchen to life with Queen City Cabinetry. located at 87 Elm Street in the historic Sunbeam Mall in Manchester. Open Monday through Friday, 9 a.m. to 5:30 p.m. and Saturdays, 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. They can be reached at 603-222-2007 or on the web at QueenCityCabinetryNH.com. Come see the possibilities. Queen City Cabinetry, another proud sponsor of WMNH. Diz's Cafe is the place to put a smile on your face. Judy and the crew will take care of you. Bring your appetite and treat your taste buds right. Diz's Cafe is always a winning choice. Breakfast, lunch, or supper. Diz's Cafe at 860 Elm Street in downtown Manchester. Dine in, take out, or make a reservation. Call 603-606-2532. Eat, drink, and be happy. Diz's Cafe.
When it comes to keeping WMNH on the air and your own personal or business computer needs, trust Groland Computers. Located on Elm Street in Manchester, Groland handles computer repair, virus removal, and custom-built systems. Are you looking for budget-friendly options? Check out our selection of fully inspected used computers. We offer tailored on-site solutions. No unnecessary expenses here. Visit Groland.com or call Groland Computers at 603-645-0101. Your tech, your way. Trust Groland Computers.
This hour on WMNH is sponsored by CGI Business Solutions, located at 5 Dartmouth Drive in Auburn. They serve all your business needs, including employee benefits planning, corporate design and business administration, investments and wealth management, and customized business insurance solutions. Their phone number is 866-841-4600 or on the web at cgibusinesssolutions.com.
WMNH, rip the knob off.
All I think about is what a stupid
morning, everyone, as we enter our number 2 numero dos of Matt Connarton Unleashed. And we are live from the studios of WMNH 95.3 FM in glorious Manchester, New Hampshire. And of course, you can stream us online. Go to mattconnerton.com/live for all your live streaming options, social media links, contact info, show archives, etc., etc. It is Saturday, March 9, 2024. Jenny is here as well.
Present and accounted for.
And thank you again to Eric from Temple Mountain. I'm not even going to attempt his actual last name because I can't remember how to say it, but but he goes by Temple Mountain because it is much easier. And boy, he's amazing. What a voice on that
Seriously.
guy. Great songwriter and just an incredible voice, and really good guitar player too. But,
Absolutely.
But his I love his voice. I love his songs and great stuff.
I noticed he doesn't use a pick on any of his songs. It's all about his fingers.
Yeah. That's always impressive to me because, I'm a bass player and I play with a pick. And, most bass players don't. Some do. Gene Simmons does, for example, but I play with a pick.
Gee, why would you copy him?
But when I see a guitar player who can play without a pick, the most impressive example of it to me being Lindsey Buckingham from Fleetwood Mac. Some of the solos, to be able to play those without a pick is truly remarkable to me. I've always been amazed by that.
Quite nice.
Yes. But and of course we've got a great talented musician coming in the third hour today too. In the 11 a.m. hour, we will be joined in studio by Casey Daron and his project SOTAH, which is SOTAH, so people don't go.
Yeah, New England style. SOTAH. Yeah, I like it.
So that'll be coming up today in the third hour. In the meantime, if you have anything for us, if you'd like to give us a call, the studio line is open 603-250-6007, 603-250-6007. You can also text us at 617-917-4476. I'm on social media at Matt Connarton. You can email me, matt@mattconnerton.com. You can interact and opine in the Facebook live chat. And we appreciate everybody in there. And now also you can go to mattconnerton.com/live. We have a separate chat room there. And you can direct message me during the show on that page as well, mattconnerton.com/live. So you also have that as an option. But the best thing to do so that we can hear and enjoy your dulcet tones is to give us a call at 603-250-6007, 603-250-6007. And by the way, if you're wondering, no classic film review this week from our friend Eric Pilcher. He's been dealing with some stuff, so he's got a run of some bad luck, unfortunately. But we love Eric, so he'll probably be back with us next week with another great film review. So there is that. But there is drama in the music world.
Is there never not drama in the music world?
Well, there are certain. It's funny. If I were to, I didn't even know about this until you brought it to my attention this morning. But if I were to say to you, who are some of the bands off the top of your head? Who are some of the bands? If I say the word drama, who are some of the legendary bands that have had the most drama happen within them?
Kiss.
Okay, Kiss comes to mind, right?
Yep.
And I mentioned Fleetwood Mac a few moments ago.
Yep. That's another good one.
And of course, there's another band that has had
Motley Crue.
Lots of drama there. Yeah, we've talked about that on the show. Lots of drama there. There's a whole book about it called The Dirt, about all the Motley Crue drama.
That's right.
Metallica, some drama there. They have a great documentary, which Eric reviewed
Journey
1 week on the show, Some Kind of Monster, about Metallica. Journey, yep, they've had some legal drama.
I don't even think they talk to each other
last couple
anymore.
of years. I know they share the stage, but don't actually speak to each other. Jonathan Cain.
I think they talk to their lawyers or something bizarre like that.
Jonathan Cain and Neil Schon. Yeah, I don't think they actually speak to each other. They just play. Which I've always thought that's got to be so weird, like being in a band with someone and not even speaking to them. I remember seeing a documentary once about the Beach Boys, and there was a period where the band had essentially split. And this was like at their commercial peak. The band had essentially split into two factions. One was the Mike Love faction, and the other was the Brian Wilson faction. And they would actually enter the stage from opposite sides because they didn't want to. Like, how does a band even function that way? It's always been fascinating to me. Like, how do you write a set list? Maybe you have one person who's in charge of writing a set list. You can't all have input if you can't even have a conversation.
Goes through the lawyers, they just pass it around and agree to, no, we're not going to do this after that or whatever.
Maybe
all of those dramas, though, are within bands that we've brought up.
Yeah.
This is not a drama within the band.
Well, there is. So, of course, we're talking about the Eagles, and the Eagles, so much drama historically in that band that when they did their reunion in the mid-'90s, they called it Hell Freezes Over. I think it was 94. And they did the Hell Freezes Over tour. And then, of course, that wasn't the end of the drama. There ended up being more drama with Don Felder getting fired from the band and so forth. So it never truly ends. Also, some intense personalities. And Don Henley, about whom this latest bit of drama seems to center around, known for having a particularly intense personality. By the way, are you an Eagles fan? Because Eagles...
always did like the Eagles.
Me too. But they're one of those bands that people who don't like... Well, they're kind of like Kiss in this sense. You know how with Kiss, like people who don't like Kiss really don't like Kiss, like really hate them. Like, I've never met anyone who simply doesn't like Kiss. They I've only met people who either really like Kiss or really hate Kiss. I feel like the Eagles is like that too. Like people who don't like the Eagles really hate the Eagles. You've seen The Big Lebowski, right?
Yes.
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 There's a whole thing in there about how much he hates the Eagles. I personally love the Eagles.
I'm a Dudist priest.
What do you mean? Oh, yes.
From The Great Lebowski.
Right. Sorry, that took me a second. Still not used to doing this in the morning. My brain isn't fully
You're a little
activated.
cobwebby.
But
this is different. This is not within the band.
Yeah. Oh, by the way, we have to say hello to Chris Poirier, our friend Crispy, who's in the Facebook live chat.
Hello, buddy.
Isn't he supposed to be coming on the show at some point?
He will, yes.
Good. Yeah.
When he's ready, I'm bringing him in.
Last time we saw him was at an event at the Hopknot.
That's true.
So yeah, there's some weird legal drama involving Don Henley, and this story is from Billboard.com. And again, I didn't know this was going on because apparently this has been going on for a little while, but there's a new wrinkle. But this had completely gotten past me until you brought it to my attention this morning.
I wouldn't call it a wrinkle. I'd call it a bit of a crater.
Yeah. So, Eagles, this is the article, Eagles stolen notes trial ends suddenly after judge says Don Henley manipulated prosecutors.
Yes.
We
got to spill the tea.
Yeah.
Isn't that what the youngins say now? Spill the tea?
Spill the tea. That is what the young people say, yes. It says the abrupt end came after prosecutors revealed the newly disclosed evidence from Henley cast doubt on whether the Eagles' notes had been stolen in the first place. Now, and I'm just getting familiar with this story. We're just getting familiar with this story as well, because Jenny didn't know it. You didn't know until this morning that any of this was going on either, right?
No, that's not true. I actually knew about the case being dropped, but I didn't know why. And now that I know the why, it's like, really?
Yeah. You can't trust that dastardly Don Henley.
Seems that the judge admonished them.
I like the Eagles, but I've never trusted them.
See, and everybody goes to Hotel California, and I was already, not that I don't like Hotel California, but my go-to song was always Desperado.
Yeah, I never liked Desperado.
I liked Desperado.
And Hotel California, I liked it when I was a kid, but after the 7 millionth time of hearing it, I was over it. I Can't Tell You Why is my favorite Eagles song.
Why can't you tell me?
I can't tell you why.
Why can't you tell me?
That's my favorite Eagles song.
What song?
I Can't Tell You Why.
Why won't you tell me?
I can't tell you why.
That's not nice. I want to know.
I know. I can't tell you why, but that is my favorite Eagles song. So,
what song?
I Can't Tell You Why.
Oy vey.
Manhattan prosecutors made the stunning decision Wednesday, March 6th, to drop a criminal case against 3 men accused of trying to sell stolen notes linked to the Eagles' 1976 album, Hotel California, with a judge saying Don Henley had manipulated prosecutors. At a hearing Wednesday, a New York judge dismissed the charges after prosecutors alerted him that newly uncovered evidence cast doubt on whether Henley's notes had been stolen in the first place. The core defense advanced by Glenn Horowitz, Craig Inciardi, and Edward Kaczynski The disclosures came midway through a closely watched criminal trial against the three men, in which Henley and longtime Eagles manager Irving Azoff, who's a legend in the music industry, Irving Azoff, had already testified. The proceedings had already run more than 2 weeks and had been expected to keep going until at least next week. The sudden reversal was sparked by Henley producing new evidence that had been previously withheld under attorney-client privilege. The new materials touched on whether a journalist hired in the 1970s to write a book about the Eagles, Ed Sanders, had legitimately come into possession of Henley's notes. At a hearing in open court on Wednesday, Justice Curtis Farber sharply criticized Henley and Azoff's conduct. Quote, "It is now clear that both witnesses and their lawyers used the privilege to obfuscate and hide information that they believed would be damaging to their position that the lyric sheets were stolen," unquote. The judge said he was also troubled that prosecutors had been, quote, "manipulated" into bringing the charges, and questioned why they had not more thoroughly vetted the accusations and the evidence. But he praised them for dropping the case once new evidence had come to light. Now, by the way, is it possible that there was no manipulation here, but the prosecutors were merely big fans of the Eagles?
No.
Or perhaps Don Henley's solo work. Building the Perfect Beast is a great album.
And if that was the case, they wouldn't have dropped the case. They would have kept going.
Because I have to tell you, like if I were some sort of prosecutor and Gene Simmons came to me and said, "Hey, I want to press charges," I'd be like, "Yeah, whatever you want to do, dude. Let's do it."
Stop it.
It's Gene Simmons
of Kiss.
Of Kiss.
Wow.
Maybe he'll call in one of these mornings.
Stop it.
One of these mornings. No, see, now I'm mixing my bands.
Well, this is an interesting situation because it's not often that you see prosecutors pulling their own case and going, "Oh no, we're not going to prosecute anymore."
Yeah.
So, it's pretty damning. And this is information that Henley and his attorneys kept from prosecutors, kept from the court. And that information was very damning to them, which is why the judge was admonishing them.
You're not supposed to do that. Not supposed to hide stuff.
No. They used the attorney-client privilege as their foundation to keep these documents private. But apparently something happened that, I don't know if it forced their hand or whatever, that they had to give these documents over. And the prosecutors are going, "Oh, wait a minute here. If this is right, nobody ever sold anything."
It says here in a statement to Billboard following Wednesday's hearing, Henley's attorney, Dan Petroselli, said, quote, "The attorney-client privilege is a foundational guardrail in our justice system, and rarely, if ever, should you have to forsake it to prosecute or defend a case. As the victim in this case, Mr. Henley has once again been victimized by this unjust outcome. He will pursue all his rights in the civil courts," unquote. The Manhattan DA's office declined to comment. Horowitz, a rare book dealer, Inciardi, a curator at the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, and Kaczynski, a memorabilia auctioneer, were all charged in 2022 with conspiracy over accusations that they tried to resell and hide the origin of the handwritten notes penned by Henley during the creation of Hotel California. Manhattan DA attorney Alvin Bragg, we've heard his name in connection with other cases we won't talk about here.
We have.
Said the trio had, quote, "made up stories about the origin of the documents and their right to possess them so they could turn a profit," unquote. But the three men always maintained that they had done nothing wrong. Their core argument. Okay, so now we're getting into the heart of the matter. You see what I did there?
Yeah.
Trying to get down to the heart of the matter. This is one of my favorite Don Henley songs.
Yeah.
See, I'm telling you, if I were a prosecutor and Don Henley came to me, I'd be like, let's get these guys.
This is why you shouldn't be one.
That's right.
People have like these rights things.
I know.
No.
But I'd be more interested in my fandom of Don Henley and the Eagles.
Apparently, we see that selfishness in you.
I would not have the discipline to not.
Well, you don't have a discipline. We know this.
Now, if Joe Walsh came to me, I'd be a little bit more suspicious. Because that song "Life's Been Good," I never cared for it.
Wow.
Yeah.
So that's why you're judgy.
So if Joe Walsh wanted to bring charges against somebody, I'd be like, no.
You're terrible.
We're not doing that.
You're judgy.
Go get me Don Henley.
Since when are you this judgmental?
Well, it's we are talking about legal matters.
Oh, does that change your perspective?
Yes. So So their core argument that the alleged theft, Sanders had legally obtained them. This is their core argument. Sanders legally obtained them in the 1970s in the process of writing a never-released book about the Eagles. If the notes were never stolen, the three argued, how could they be charged with reselling stolen property? Okay, so in other words, so if I understand this correctly, in other words, if Don Henley willingly gave the notes here,
yes,
take these because you're going to write this book.
Yes.
Although
that means they're not stolen because you hand them over. And if you never sell them to anybody else, then how can you be criminally prosecuted for selling stolen property? Because that's what the charge is.
It does seem like it would be unethical, though, if maybe not illegal, but and there's more to this. We'll get to it, but just as we're going through it. Well, but if they tried to.
If they tried to sell the documents they had?
Because the thing is, if somebody gives you something for the purpose of writing a book and then you never write the book and then you say, well, I'm just going to take these and sell them. That seems really...
That would be, I would think, criminal.
Well, I don't think I wouldn't think it would be criminal. In other words, if Henley gave him the documents and said, here, these are so you can write your book, and the book never gets written, but Henley gave that property to that author or prospective author, and then so he gave, so they're now the property of the author if Henley gave them.
They're not the property of the author. I argue that they are not the property of the author. If the information was given for the expressed purpose of I'm hiring you to write this book, here are the documentation, and you never give them back, doesn't necessarily mean you have the right to sell them.
I would say definitely that's your argument means to me it would be unethical to try to sell those documents. Completely unethical, but not necessarily illegal. If Henley takes his property and said, here, I'm giving this to you, so and that now becomes the property of the author, that may be where the hang up is. So is it illegal? I wouldn't think it would be illegal, but I do think it would be highly unethical. Something can be unethical, but not necessarily illegal.
You're hired for an express purpose and you're given documentation for that express purpose.
Right.
I'm assuming there would be a contract there that spells out what he's doing.
You would think, but remember, this was during
the process of doing that doesn't mean you have the right to.
And there may not have been any kind of a contract. I mean, remember, this was during the making of Hotel California. These guys were all coked up.
No. No, this is about not the writing part, but about giving these documents over to a writer who was hired to write a book, but the book was never published.
Right.
That doesn't mean it wasn't written. Doesn't mean it wasn't even finished. Right? Could have been totally finished, ready to go to print, and they pull the plug on it and say, we're not going to do that. That's what he was given these documents
which does happen. Yeah.
Even that doesn't give him the right to then sell them. So I come to you, you're a cake baker, and I come in with a photograph. I want this photograph on this cake, and it's somebody famous. And I want you to copy this picture, but I don't want you to do anything else.
Mm-hmm.
Do you have the right to take that picture and then sell it and turn a profit on it? Doesn't that picture still belong to me? I've only given it to you for the purpose of making that picture on that cake.
But see, then we get into, and again, by the way, neither of us are legal experts.
No,
so
not at all.
We might be over our heads.
Feel free to chime in. Give us a call.
So if anyone is, 603-250-6007. But I would think, in the example that you just gave, again, it would be completely unethical for someone under those circumstances to then take that property and try to sell it. But is that a criminal matter? Is that really a criminal matter, or is it a civil matter at that point?
It's a criminal matter if you took something that didn't belong to you and you then sold it, which is what this case was about, taking those documents and then selling them to turn a profit. But that's not what happened.
Yeah.
In this instance, they did have it, but they never actually sold it to anyone. So you can't be convicted of selling stolen property if you never actually sold it.
But they tried, right?
I don't know if they tried or not.
Because isn't that the whole point? They tried to. Because if you try, I mean, trying but not succeeding doesn't help you. I mean, you can
just because you
you can try to rob a bank, but if
that's theft without selling. That's still no, that's different. You can't put robbing a bank and conflate that into
no,
this.
but I'm just saying.
Far different
I'm
from
just saying
each
if you try to do something illegal but you don't succeed, that doesn't get you off the hook in anything. I'm just saying.
But you can't get prosecuted for selling stolen property if you never sold the stolen property.
Well, no, but you could get
for attempting. Maybe.
Well, yeah, that's my point.
But in this, but they specifically point out that part of the reason why these charges were dropped was because the notes were never stolen. They were handed to the writer, and then they never. How could they be? Okay. Well, maybe I'm wrong about this now that I'm looking at it and thinking about it. If the notes were never stolen, then if they did sell them, they wouldn't be stealing. They wouldn't be selling stolen property. They would simply be stealing property that was within their.
Well, that was my point.
But
that's not.
That's why I'm starting to think you're right and I'm wrong on this.
So that to me is not a criminal matter, but it could be a civil matter. If Henley says, "Wait a minute, you're trying to sell this property that I gave to you for the express purpose of writing a book that never came out, and now you're trying to sell that," that would be a civil matter, right? Henley could then say, "Well, I'm going to sue you because you're trying to sell property that I gave you for a specific purpose, and now you're trying to profit off of that."
Right.
Yeah.
See, this is why I'm thinking I think you're right. I think that because they were handed over willingly, they were never stolen.
Right.
And then if this was happening in 1970, that those notes were actually handed over, we're now sitting here in 2024.
Yeah.
I mean, how long do you have something in your possession before it becomes yours? Isn't possession 9/10 of the law anyway? So maybe it's been so long he had it. If he did sell it, is it even criminal or is it even unethical? If he's had it since 1970.
Yeah, well, there is that. I mean, yeah, I think it's unethical to do that regardless of time. But the mentioning of time does bring up something else that I'm thinking about too. And it's a similar thought to excuse me. It's a similar thought to when we were talking about months ago, the Daryl Hall versus John Oates lawsuit. And we were talking about how, these guys are in their mid to late 70s. Is this how they want it to end? Don Henley is 76 years old. I mean, if I were 76 years old and already had more money than I could ever spend, I don't know if I'd want to be spending time in court trying to sue somebody out of making money off of something I had done. I mean, I guess maybe it's a matter of pride or principle, but at 76, Don Henley, relax.
There's a nefarious side in this as well. When you look at what the judge had said, he said, quote, "A review of these newly disclosed materials has demonstrated a highlight Mr. Henley and Mr. Azoff used of the privilege to shield themselves from a thorough and complete cross-examination," was said by Justin Farber. So in other words, because they withheld this information, the defense didn't get to cross-examine them on it, didn't even get to know about it. So they're shielding themselves by keeping this close to the chest and not sharing the information when legally they had the legal, what's the word I'm looking for, requirement to disclose this information. Mm-hmm. They had no right to keep it secret under the guise of client attorney privilege, which is what they were doing. Yeah. So the judge is totally admonishing them for doing that because not only did they prevent important information from being released, but they also prevented the defense from being able to face their accuser.
Yeah. It says here, again, this is from Billboard. The trial kicked off last month with Inciardi's attorney telling the judge that prosecutors had distorted the history to charge innocent men, and the DA's office would be apologizing at the end of this case. Henley later testified that he had not willingly given away the notes, saying they were, quote, "something very personal, very private," unquote. So it sounds to me like Henley and Azoff and their attorneys are trying to make it sound like these notes were stolen.
When actually he sounds like he gave it to them and forgot and never retrieved them.
Well, again, it's an indelicate way of putting it, but I do think it's valid. These guys, again, the Eagles during the making of Hotel California, who knows what the hell they did or can remember correctly or not. They were all coked up. And again, it's an indelicate way of putting it, but it's just true.
Like,
you know what I mean?
So you think there's something in those papers that he doesn't want out there? Is that what you're saying?
No, I'm just saying, who knows who knows what conversations were had between Don Henley and
back in 1970 with this
and this guy.
writer.
I mean, who knows?
Does he even realize that he gave it to the writer? Was he with it at the time?
Right. Exactly. That's my point.
I get that. But no matter what the situation was in that moment, it sounds like he just left the paperwork with the guy, right? They never went back to the writer and said, "Give me back my notes."
Who knows? Who knows?
He just kind of shoved it all to him. Yeah, write me this book. And then somewhere along the line, dude goes, "I got your book," and he goes, "Never mind."
Yeah.
That sounds like exactly what happened, is it never was actually published.
It says here at Wednesday's hearing, Justice Curtis said that Henley had recently handed over more than 6,000 new pages of emails and other disclosures that contained new information about how Sanders came to own the notes. Such jarringly late disclosures violated Horowitz, Inciardi, and Kaczynski's constitutional rights, the judge said.
Yeah? 6,000. Come on. It's not like it's a single 6,000 documents. Wow. That's an awful lot to be keeping secret.
Yeah.
Especially where obviously it was information that should have been provided under the disclosure rules.
It says in a statement to Billboard, Horowitz's attorney, Jonathan Bach, said, quote, "We are glad the DA's office made the right decision and finally dropped this case. It never should have been brought. Mr. Horowitz looks forward to carrying on with his important work," unquote. But regardless, I mean, again, I'm not any kind of a legal expert, just as a layman. It sounds to me like this was, if anything, a civil case, not a criminal one.
Yeah, but these guys could have been facing real jail time.
Yeah.
Keeping that paperwork is literally put 3 people's lives in jeopardy. That's pretty hard, man. That's pretty bad.
Yeah.
So you gotta have a lot of hate in your heart to want to ruin people's lives like that. I wonder what's in that book. What's in that never released book?
Yes.
We'll probably never know.
I was looking to see if there was any kind of a other update. But again, it's like, you know.
This is really recent. This just happened.
Yeah.
Just this past week was the case officially dismissed. And it's also very telling when you look at it, because it's not the judge who dismissed the case. It's the prosecutors themselves who went to the judge and said, "We need to pull back on this. We need to get rid of these charges. We're not going to prosecute."
Now, I want to go back.
I can't imagine prosecutors liking to drop criminal charges too much. So this must have been interesting.
Although Alvin Bragg kind of has his hands full. I do want to
think.
I do want to go back to. By the way, do you think Don Henley pays his lawyers?
Probably.
I might have him confused with somebody else. Anyway,
I don't think he gets away with not paying lawyers. I think there's only special class for that.
Just for context, I do want to go back to. There's a story here. This is from February 20th. And this might add some context to what we're looking at now, which is the latest update. This is from the AP News. This is from February 20th, but this kind of explains the foundation of the trial. A story titled, "Welcome to the Hotel California Case, the Trial Over Handwritten Lyrics to an Eagles Classic." It says here, in the mid-'70s, the Eagles were working on a spooky, cryptic new song on a lined yellow pad. Don Henley, with input from band co-founder Glenn Frey, jotted thoughts about a dark desert highway and a lovely place with a luxurious surface and ominous undertones, and something on ice, perhaps caviar or Taitinger. Is that how you say that? Or pink champagne? The song Hotel California became one of rock's most indelible singles, and nearly a half-century later, those handwritten pages of lyrics in the making have become the center of an unusual criminal trial set to open on Wednesday. So again, remember, this is from February 20th. Rare book dealer Glenn Horowitz, former Rock and Roll Hall of Famer curator Craig Inciardi, I finally figured out how to say his name.
Well done.
Thank you. And
rolled off your tongue.
And memorabilia seller Edward Kaczynski are charged with conspiring to own and try to sell manuscripts of Hotel California and other Eagles hits without the right to do so. The 3 have pleaded not guilty, and their lawyers have said the men committed no crime with the papers, which they acquired via a writer who'd worked with the Eagles. But the man, these guys are not the writer. None of these guys are the writer of the book. They're claiming they got these from the writer. So we should clarify that because I wasn't clear on that myself.
I wasn't clear on that either.
So none of these three guys are the author of the book. They're all saying that they
came into possession of the notes from the writer of the book, so they have to prove that the writer didn't steal them.
Yeah.
All right, now we're getting clearer. Here we go.
But it says, the Manhattan DA's office says the defendants connived to obscure the document's disputed ownership, despite knowing that Henley said the pages were stolen.
Wow.
Clashes over valuable collectibles abound, but criminal trials like this are rare. Many fights are resolved in private, in lawsuits, or with agreements to return the items. Like I was saying, like it being a civil matter, not a criminal one.
Right.
Travis McDade, a University of Illinois law professor who studies rare document disputes, said, quote, "If you can avoid a prosecution by handing over the thing, most people just hand it over," unquote. Of course, the case of the Eagles manuscripts is distinctive in other ways, too. The prosecutor's star witness is indeed that. Henley is expected to testify between Eagles tour stops. The non-jury trial could offer a peek into the band's creative process and life in the fast lane of the 70s stardom. At issue are over 80 pages of draft lyrics from the blockbuster 1976 Hotel California album, including words to the chart-topping, Grammy-winning title cut. It features one of classic rock's most recognizable riffs, best-known solos, and most oft-quoted, arguably over-quoted lines, "You can check out anytime you like, but you can never leave." Henley has said the song is about the dark underbelly of the American dream. It's still streamed over 220 million times and got 136,000 radio spins last year in the U.S. alone, according to the entertainment data company Luminate. The Hotel California album has sold 26 million copies nationwide over the years, bested only by an Eagles Greatest Hits disc and Michael Jackson's Thriller. The pages also include lyrics from songs including Life in the Fast Lane and New Kid in Town. Eagles manager Irving Azoff has called the documents irreplaceable pieces of musical history. Horowitz, Inciardi, and Kaczynski are charged with conspiracy to possess stolen property and various other offenses. They're not charged with actually stealing documents, nor is anyone else, but prosecutors will still have to establish that the documents were stolen. The defense maintains that's not true, and I think that's where the rub is. But how do you prove that the documents were stolen? Much turns on the Eagles' interactions with, this is the context I was looking for. Much turns on the Eagles' interactions with Ed Sanders, a writer who also co-founded the 1960s counterculture rock band The Fugs, F-U-G-S. Got to be careful how I say that on the air. He worked in the, I don't even want to pronounce it the way I think it's supposed to be pronounced because, again, we're on FM radio. He worked in the late 70s and early 80s on an authorized Eagles biography that was never published. Sanders is not charged in the case. A phone message seeking comment was left for him. He sold the pages to Horowitz, who then sold them to Inciardi and Kaczynski. Okay, so the writer, Ed Sanders, he took those documents and he sold them to Horowitz, one of the three guys who is charged, who then sold them to the other two guys who are charged. Horowitz has handled huge rare book and archive deals, and he's been entangled in some ownership spats before. One involved papers linked to Gone with the Wind author Margaret Mitchell. That was settled. Inciardi worked on notable exhibitions for the Cleveland-based Rock Hall of Fame. Not the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, the Rock Hall of Fame. Kaczynski has been a principal in Gotta Have It Collectibles, known for auctioning celebrities' personal possessions. So personal that Madonna unsuccessfully sued to try to stop a sale that included her latex briefs. Oh, if only we'd known about that when we did the Madonna segment.
Latex briefs.
Yes. Those were auctioned off, apparently.
Ew.
Henley,
Sorry.
Well, you know.
I don't want anyone's underwear.
Wait, listen.
I don't care who they are.
It's Madonna. She's famous.
I don't care. I don't want anybody's used underwear.
Madonna. It's Madonna, though.
Yeah, but she farted in them.
Ah, you don't know that?
Yes, I do. Everybody farts.
No, not Madonna.
Yeah, she does.
Not Madonna.
Everybody does.
How dare you?
Yes.
She is named after the mother of our Lord.
Yep, and she farted too.
I don't think so. There is an REM song about that, I think.
There's a fart everywhere. The fart,
it's everybody farts.
Here's a fart, there's a fart. I like mine better.
Henley told a grand jury that he never gave the biographer the lyrics, according to court filings from Kaczynski's lawyers. But defense lawyers have signaled that they plan to probe Henley's memory of the time. Quote, we believe that Mr. Henley voluntarily provided the lyrics to Mr. Sanders, unquote, attorney Scott Edelman said in court last week. Now, by the way, so Henley's not claiming that these three guys stole anything. He's claiming that the author, Ed Sanders, is the one who stole.
And they have possession of a stolen property.
But possessing stolen property is a crime.
And were they trying to sell it?
So,
were they trying to sell them?
Yeah, apparently, yes. So,
stolen property, so they're trying to sell them.
So, now that we have more context, now I'm starting to flip back to saying maybe this. I can see why. I can see why this was considered a criminal case and not civil, because if there is alleged theft involved,
right? But he was hiding 6,000 pages of documentation,
right?
That apparently refutes that and insists that they willingly gave the documents to the writer, intending on having a book about them.
Yeah.
And then squished the book and never took back their documents.
Yeah, I mean,
charges weren't brought against these guys until 2022.
For all we know, there could be something in those emails about, a conversation they had at Studio 54.
I don't think they were emails at Studio 54 in 1970.
No, but I'm saying maybe referencing a conversation they had at Studio 54 about the lyrics or something that Don Henley now can't remember or something. You know what I mean?
Previous documents from long ago that they, maybe from starting the book talk.
Because back in the day when Paulie C and I used to hang out at Studio 54 with Cher and all of them, I think I remember seeing Don Henley there.
Here we go.
That's a little bit inside, but if you're
pipe dreaming away.
If you're a WMNH devotee, you know the reference.
Please.
Sanders told Horowitz in 2005 that while working on the Eagles book, he was sent whatever papers he wanted from Henley's home in Malibu, California, according to the indictment. Well, wait a minute, though.
What?
Yeah, see, yeah.
What do you mean, wait a minute? What?
So he says, he was sent whatever he needed for the book, basically. If I were an author, if I were working on a book for somebody and they were sending me papers, I wouldn't just assume, well, these are mine to do whatever I want with.
Correct. But if you've had them in your possession since 1970, how long in your possession until they become yours and you are able to get rid of them?
Right.
Or are you ever able to do that?
Right.
That's an interesting conundrum.
It says, then Kaczynski's business offered some pages at auction in 2012. Henley's attorneys came knocking, and Horowitz, NCRD, and Sanders in varying combinations began batting around alternate versions of the manuscript's provenance, the indictment says. Yeah, interesting. So it sounds according to the indictment, they tried to muddy the waters about, how these By the way, but once again, though, just from Don Henley's perspective, and I understand pride and principle and all of that, but this 76-year-old man who's already extremely wealthy, if he stops this from happening, what does he get out of it financially? Nothing, right? But if somebody else,
unless he's looking to regain the control over those paperwork, get them back, and then he can sell them himself for more money.
But he's probably not going to sell them. He probably just wants them back.
How do you know that?
Well, I don't know that.
Maybe he's money hungry. Maybe that's why he's doing the lawsuit in the first place.
But if somebody else can sell them, there might be an Eagles fan who wants to spend the money. I mean, what
diehard Eagles fan would want to have?
Right. So
the original.
At a certain point, what's it matter? Again, I'm just saying. Why does this guy want to go? Why does Don Henley want to do all this? Now, by the way,
he's getting some free publicity out of it.
I do understand why, in one
Back
sense,
in the limelight
because
a little bit.
I do understand why in one sense, because he is Don Henley, and this is consistent with everything that we've heard over the years about him as a person and his personality.
Has he always been a lawsuity kind of guy?
Well, not necessarily litigious, but he's known for having a very prickly personality.
Oh, I really don't know much about the man. I just know some of the music.
I mean, I'm a fan of his music, but there have been some pretty consistently some unpleasant things said about him as a person. He's never been a nice guy, as far as I can tell, from what people say about him. I'm trying to think of something nice that someone's ever said about Don Henley, and nothing leaps to mind.
That's terrible.
As a person.
That's terrible.
Yeah, that's just my impression. I don't know.
Yeah.
That's just my impression. It says, in one story, Sanders found the pages discarded in a backstage dressing room. In others, he got them from a stage assistant, or while amassing, quote, a lot of material related to the Eagles from different people, unquote. In yet another story, he obtained them from Glenn Frey, an account that, quote, would make this go away once and for all, unquote, Horowitz suggested in 2017, but then Glenn Frey died the year before. Wow, 2016 Glenn Frey died. Quote, he merely needs gentle handling and reassurance that he's not going to the can, unquote, Horowitz emailed Inciardi during a 2012 exchange about getting Sanders' explanation shaped into a communication to auctioneers, the indictment says. Sanders supplied or signed off on some of the varying explanations, according to the indictment, and it's unclear what he may have conveyed verbally, but he apparently rejected at least the dressing room tale. And by the way, that's something that's that we've heard, like with the Beatles, for example. Somebody picks up lyrics, handwritten lyrics or notes left behind in a dressing room or backstage, at a concert or in a recording studio. Just somebody leaves something behind, somebody else picks it up. Who really owns it at that point? Is it stealing? If somebody leaves something behind and it doesn't look like they care about it, and you pick it up, is that theft? I mean, it is unethical, I think, if you're,
yeah.
But if in that situation, but Kaczynski, I'm going to skip down. This gets pretty in depth, but okay, so I'm going to skip down a little bit. But Sotheby's listed the Hotel California song lyrics in a 2016 auction, but withdrew them after learning the ownership was in question. Yeah, because Sotheby's doesn't want to end up in any kind of legal trouble.
He apparently does go after everything. I'm looking at some notations from someone else who's saying you can rarely find any of the Eagles on his solo material on YouTube. When a video of their music gets uploaded, it's quickly removed. He's strict about not allowing people to take pictures or videos at Eagle concerts.
Yeah.
He also doesn't seem to like people who play his music in public places. Wow.
Yeah, that's his reputation. That's all consistent with everything that we know about Don Henley.
The worst of the worst examples of him being overprotective include that one time when he sued because of a hotel in Mexico that had the name Hotel California. He also sued Duluth Trading Company because of a T-shirt containing the words Don Henley and Take It Easy, and even sued a foundation that helps protect Eagles in America because he felt they were infringing on the band's name. He wasn't happy about Frank Ocean sampling Hotel California and went as far as to call him a cuss word and attack him despite his popularity at the time. Eagles shows are also some of the most expensive ticket-wise.
Yes.
Especially for a band that hasn't released a new single in 30 years. Wow. There was the reason this came up, I guess, was there was a video, some old commercials that were removed and got copyright strikes issued on YouTube because Henley's song New York Minute was used for a few seconds in a promo for a TV show, which probably made up about 5% of the entire video.
Yeah.
So, yeah, apparently he's quite the protective individual, for lack of a better term.
Yeah, and that's all fine in the sense that, look, you should protect your intellectual property and so forth, but at a certain point, some of it seems a little petty.
Yeah, but yeah, I think it's sad, really, that he is this protective, because I think it hurts in the long run, like not having people listening to your music on YouTube.
Yeah.
Why not? Why wouldn't you want your music to stay alive and in the public eye? Why be that? Like, do you want it to? The best way to fade something away is to keep it out of the public eye.
Yeah. Well, I mean, then again, he may look at it as he never has to worry about that, really, and neither do the Eagles, because look, you could probably turn on Rock 101 right now and hear an Eagles song. You know what I mean? Like, because of classic rock, the classic rock radio format, they never really have to worry about it. And they'll always be able to enormous sums of money for their tours and so
They
forth.
do have stuff on YouTube of him, though. So
yeah.
He probably just finds one and goes after that one person and then finds somebody else. Maybe that's how he passes his time. I think it's sad, though. I really do. Because, I mean, I would think that an artist would want their music to never be forgotten and to have it be wide and far. But I might be wrong. I mean, I could be wrong in this.
I think...
But it doesn't sound like anybody stole anything. It sounds like they turned over stuff for a book and never took it back.
Well, who knows? I mean, we don't know exactly what happened there. And
we know he gave him the stuff in the 1970s, and there's no evidence to prove that he's ever sued or anything to fight to get documents back.
Right.
He didn't care about them until they turned up in somebody else's possession.
Yeah.
So does that, because you forgot something doesn't make it theft.
Right.
It's your responsibility to retrieve your belongings. It's not the other person's responsibility to bring it to you, in my opinion.
Yeah. I don't know. I'll be curious to see. So this has been dropped, just to kind of put a button on it. It's been dropped as a criminal matter, but will
that doesn't end it because he is vowing to sue them civilly.
Yeah, yeah.
So we'll have to stay tuned to see if there's another court case coming up.
Well, that's what you do, right? I mean, if it doesn't work out criminally, you always have that option.
Yep.
All right. Well, we are approaching the top of the hour. I think we're going to play another. I'm going to play another song from another studio track from Temple Mountain, who was our amazing guest in the first hour, and we'll take a break, show some love to our amazing sponsors, and then we have an amazing guest. I assume that's what.
Yes, in the waiting room.
Casey Daron is here. He's going to be joining us in the third hour, and is he playing or are we?
He did bring a guitar.
Excellent. So we've got plenty more to come here on Matt Connarton Unleashed. We are, of course, live from the studios of WMNH 95.3 FM, which, by the way, is part of This is part of downtown Manchester, New Hampshire.
It is part of downtown. I even posted from downtown Manchester.
If you don't know what I'm referring to, we finally settled that last night on Retro Spectrum Radio because a number of years ago here on WMNH there was some disagreement over what is downtown Elm Street or is it Elm Street and the surrounding area. And last night on Retro Spectrum Radio, all these years later, I said, let's answer the question. And I found on the official website for the city a definition of what is downtown. And it was very specific, actually. But yes, it does include, we are still considered downtown Manchester, even though we are now on Canal Street.
Because Canal Street is part of downtown. So stop making it sound like it's secondary.
Yes.
It is.
We are still
there you go.
Downtown.
Not still. We are, not still.
Well, I say still because
we are.
If downtown were only Elm Street, then we would no longer be downtown.
You make it sound like it's moving. We don't move.
I don't know what that was. Anyway, that weird sound.
Wasn't me.
I think that went out on the air. I hope it did, because if it didn't, then people are going to think I'm hearing weird noises and that I'm insane. Maybe I'm crazy. All right. Let's play. We're going to play another track from Schema is the name of the album. The artist is Temple Mountain. This is called Resilience. And then we'll show some love to our amazing sponsors, and then we'll be back. Who knows? Maybe Don Henley will sue us for something. And we'll be back. Casey Daron is here. It will be joining us. So don't go away. Plenty more to come.
Started with a phone call, hurt by all the sounds. He claims he's good to you, but we all know the truth, he's not around. And you think you understand me, you claim to be so proud. But I see all the stress and brutes. Far away I hear you cry out loud. But there's something more to you, and I see it every day. It's not your fault, so they do. You just have to look away, away. You weren't honest and that's not allowed. But the one that told you knew how to play with sound. You weren't honest and I swear it's a lie. 'Cause all your mistakes were witnessed through your eyes. Yourself a doctor who encourages the lies. Now I found a doctor too, and I'm the one who has to take a side. And I never had respect for the way you look in pride. Now my eyes are torn and bruised, I'll never truly see you clear outside. But there's something more to you, and I see it every day. It's not your fault all they do. You just have to look away, away. You weren't honest and that's not allowed. For the one that told you knew how to play with sound. You weren't honest and I swear it's a lie. 'Cause all your mistakes were witnessed through your eyes. So when I came to you, why'd you run away? And when I run towards you, you never try and stay. Oh, let the fire ignite, I'll still call you tonight. But there's something more to you, and I see it every day. It's not your fault all they do. You just have to look away, away. You weren't honest and that's not allowed. But the one that told you knew how to play with sound. You weren't honest and that's just a lie. 'Cause all your mistakes were witnessed through your eyes. You weren't honest and that's not allowed. For the one that told you knew how to play with sound. You weren't honest and I swear that's a lie. 'Cause all your mistakes were witnessed through your eyes.
Come on down to the Hop Knot at 1000 Elm Street, Manchester's premier craft beer and gourmet pretzel bar. Tell us more, Trudy.
We make our dough fresh every day. We make a variety of styles of pretzels and serve craft beer, cocktails, and a few bottles of wine. We do the traditional pretzel, and we have multiple flavors for that. We also do stuffed pretzels, pretzel sandwiches, 3 dessert pretzels, and pretzel knots.
The Hop Knot in the Brady Sullivan Plaza at 1000 Elm Street.
Bring your kitchen to life with Queen City Cabinetry, located at 87 Elm Street in the historic Sunbeam Mall in Manchester. Open Monday through Friday, 9 a.m. to 5:30 p.m. and Saturdays, 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. They can be reached at 603-222-2007 or on the web at queencitycabinetrynh.com. Come see the possibilities. Queen City Cabinetry, another proud sponsor of WMNH. Diz's Cafe is the place to put a smile on your face. Judy and the crew will take care of you. Bring your appetite and treat your taste buds right. Diz's Cafe is always a winning choice. Breakfast, lunch, or supper. Diz's Cafe at 860 Elm Street in downtown Manchester. Dine in, take out, or make a reservation. Call 603-606-2532. Eat, drink, and be happy. Diz's Cafe.
When it comes to keeping WMNH on the air and your own personal or business computer needs, trust Groland Computers. Located on Elm Street in Manchester, Groland handles computer repair, virus removal, and custom-built systems. Are you looking for budget-friendly options? Check out our selection of fully inspected used computers. We offer tailored on-site solutions. No unnecessary expenses here. Visit Groland.com or call Groland Computers at 603-645-0101. Your tech, your way. Trust Groland Computers.
This hour on WMNH is sponsored by CGI Business Solutions, located at 5 Dartmouth Drive in Auburn. They serve all your business needs, including employee benefits planning, corporate design and business administration, investments and wealth management, and customized business insurance solutions. Their phone number is 866-841-4600 or on the web at cgibusinesssolutions.com.
WMNH, rip the knob off.
When you hear my name, do you cry like I do? When you see my face, do you die like I do? I can hear your voice and I don't know how I should feel. I can see your smile and I don't know if it's real. Is it the same for you?
That is good. That is Dying Breath by SOTAH, SOTAH. And We have the man behind that with us here today, and we're going to introduce him in just a moment. But this is Matt Connarton Unleashed, and we are live from the studios of WMNH 95.3 FM in glorious downtown Manchester, New Hampshire. And of course, you can go to my website, mattconnarton.com/live, to stream the show from anywhere and to interact with us. And of course, we're also streaming on Facebook. You can go to the Matt Connarton Unleashed Facebook page, participate in the chat room and all of that. It is, of course, Saturday, March 9, 2024. Jenny is here as well at the news table.
Present and accounted for.
Yes. And returning to the show, Casey Daron is with us. Hello.
Hey, how you doing, Matt?
Good. How are you?
I am doing fantastic. Thank you so much for having me back.
Absolutely. I love that dying breath. That is catchy as hell.
Oh, thank you. Thank you so much.
It's impossible not to get into that. So really, really good stuff. Now, the last time you were on, you were in, we should get this part out of the way for people who are wondering. You were in a band called After Image, as well as this. You had this project going on at the same time. But now, what happened with After Image?
Well, a few months ago, it was decided that After Image was going to be no more. And it was not my decision. Came as a big surprise to me. I really loved being in that band. It was a different outlet for me than SOTAH was.
Yeah.
When SOTAH was started, it was never meant to be competition or anything like that. It was, a different emotional outlet. With After Image, I didn't write any of the lyrics. Early on, I had a little bit. But I got to a point where I felt that I needed to, have an emotional outlet lyrically, and that's why I started SOTAH.
Yeah.
When the rest of the band presented the fact that they wanted After Image to be no more, like I said, it came as a surprise. And I loved the band. I thought it was a lot of fun. We had some great shows together over the 7 years that we were a band, and we gained quite a lot of fans in the New England area. That I was living my dream for a nice run.
Yeah, you guys, you put a lot into it too, with the videos and everything, which were really well produced, and you really put a lot into it.
Yeah, no, it was my baby. It was all of our baby, and it was a passion project for all of us. So I don't know, we had a lot, or at least I had a lot on the horizon that I wanted. I still had goals for After Image, and I think the whole band did, but I don't know. I think that there was a misconception that maybe I was taking SOTAH to a new level, that I didn't care as much for After Image, which was absolutely not true. There was a lot that I was planning out and I was getting excited for this coming year. But at the end of the day, I am so happy that I was in that band for the time I was, and I can't thank the fans enough for giving us that support. It was really something that let me, like I said, I was able to live my dream, and I played some really cool shows. We opened up for Morbid Angel actually 5 years ago today.
Wow.
I got a Facebook notification at the Worcester Palladium.
Yeah.
And things like that I never would have dreamed of back when I was in high school. And it was thanks to the collective of the band that we were able to do that.
Yeah. Like I said, you guys had a lot. Did someone indicate to you that they felt like did you sense a resentment about what you were doing with SOTAH, or did somebody say something to you about it directly?
Nobody said it directly. I don't know. I just felt like at the end of the day, they started a new project without me. And I just kind of felt like, so to me, it seemed like I was the problem. And I didn't realize I was the problem. And I would have loved to have had a conversation, and I would have loved to have fixed. If there was a problem, I would have been more than happy to, fix that and continue on and grow as a band, because that's what you do. It's not easy being in a band. There's a lot of push and pull.
Oh yeah.
So when I found out that they were moving on without me, that's when I was like, oh man, so there was something there that I didn't even know that was causing, I guess, some resentment. So.
But was it when they made that decision? Was it we're going to do this other thing and put After Image aside without you, or
yeah,
okay.
That's how the conversation went.
Wow. Yeah. And you didn't see it coming?
No, I honestly was blindsided.
Wow.
We had a show in December. They made the decision in November. We had one final show in December that we kind of quietly exited, and then just last week they made the post on our After Image social media accounts that we were no more.
Wow. Wow.
We do still have some music that I think will be coming out this year.
Oh, really? Okay.
I'm not really in those chats so much as I was 6 months ago.
Yeah.
But I'm hoping that you'll hear a new EP from us to kind of close that book.
Yeah. Wow. Well, I'm sorry to hear about that, but I do have to say I love what you're doing with SOTAH, and
I like that you gave it a New England name.
A New England name?
Yes, SOTAH, A-H.
Oh, I see what you mean. There you go.
Styled. New England styled.
Well, where does the name come from? How did you come up with the name?
We actually talked about this the last time I was on, but basically the name SOTAH comes from the Old Testament, and it's basically the name for somebody who was accused of cheating on their significant other.
Oh, right.
So they went through this trial of the poisoned water, where if they were given poisoned water and they survived, they're not a cheater.
Right.
They drank it and they died. It was like, well, they had it coming to them because they were a cheater.
Right.
So when I was writing one of my first songs with SOTAH, I kept hearing the phrase in my head, poison the water. And at that point, I knew nothing about the religious aspect to it. I'm not very religious by any means, but I like to pull from religion because, I'm deeply rooted in metal roots, and they love to, there's bands like Testament, and I love that stuff.
Oh, yeah.
There's a lot of imagery to pull from. Yeah. So I kept hearing that phrase, poison the water. So I looked it up and I said, poison the water, Bible, on Google. And SOTAH came up. And I was like, wow, that's really like spot on to where I was at that point in my life. And I looked on Spotify. I said, is there a band called SOTAH? There wasn't. So I said, okay, that's it. Because it's so hard to find band names these days.
Oh, yeah. You would almost think there'd be like a Christian rock band somewhere called that or something,
I know. But
Well, yeah, but it's named after somebody who's a bad person. So why would, necessarily?
Oh, true. Yeah.
Some people might not think that.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, that's you're right. I do remember now. You explained that before. Yeah. No, that's great. That's great. And it is hard to find band names that somebody else hasn't already taken. So that's now who else is in this project with you, or is this all you? You do everything?
So I write all the music, and up until this point, I have recorded most everything. So the core band is I play rhythm guitar and I sing. My brother Killian Daron is on the bass and he does backup vocals.
Oh, okay.
And then my longtime friend from high school, Johnny Daron, plays drums.
Okay.
So on all the studio recordings, he plays drums. I do everything else except for the solos, which was Brandon Curcio from After Image. He recorded all of that for me. But when we do the live shows, we keep that core three of us, and we've gone through, a handful of lead guitarists just because it's hard to find musicians that aren't in another band, first of all.
Right.
That can stay fully committed. But we've had many phenomenal guitar players play with us live, and they've all just killed it. So, yeah.
Yeah, very cool. If you have any questions or anything at all for our guest, we have Casey Daron here from SOTAH. SOTAH is the spelling if you're looking for them online. And the studio line is open, 603-250-6007, 603-250-6007. You can also text us at 617-917-4476. I'm on social media at Matt Connarton. You can email me, matt@mattconnerton.com. And, of course, you can interact and opine in the Facebook live chat. JFed, our friend from Vermont, is asking, have you ever considered growing a beard? He's very beard-centric.
So I would love to grow a beard if I could even start to grow a beard. I got a little fuzz going right now. That's as much as I can get.
No kidding.
I could try growing this thing for months, and you'd see nothing.
Yeah.
You should see my head.
Yeah.
I'm wearing a hat.
Well, fair enough. Now you brought your guitar. Did you want to play a couple songs for us? I'd love to.
Yeah.
Love to hear you
Absolutely.
live. Yeah. So we'll let you Yeah, and I've got that other mic plugged in, so that should it worked well for Eric. Yeah, we'll let you do whatever you got to do. But if you're just joining us, Casey Daron from SOTAH is here with us live in studio, and we're talking about his project, and we'll play some more studio tracks later in the show too. But he's going to play live for us. Really looking forward to this. And if you are just joining us, of course, we are. Everything seems to be working this week. I know last week we had a little bit of a problem with Facebook, but looks like we're good. All right, let me turn that other mic. Oh, actually, let me get both of those mics on. That would probably help. Yeah, go ahead and strum a little bit, Casey. Yeah. Ooh, that sounds good.
Awesome.
That sounds good. So, we'll let you. Whenever you're ready, just if you want to tell us what you're going to play.
So this is an unreleased song. It's called Flood of Tears, and there's a little bit of a backstory to this. This was written, I think I wrote this about 2 or 3 years ago. In my time as a musician, I have become very close with an organization called the Jason R. Flood Memorial, and they host an annual event called Pizza Stock. So Doug and Danielle Flood lost their son to suicide about 8 years ago, and he was exactly my age. And I've been a part of the Pizza Stock events since its inception, and it really hit hard. I never knew Jason Flood, but he was very close to me. We shared a lot of similar interests. We both loved the Mighty Mighty Boss Tones, the Dropkick Murphys. I loved the Muppets. He loved the Muppets. Like, there were all sorts of things that were just so close between us. And I wrote this song in tribute to him, a kid that I never met. But the story just resonates with me so much. And the magnitude, everything that the Flood family has endured, but they've spread such positivity, and they're creating such change by spreading suicide awareness and mental health awareness in the past 7-8 years, that I just found them so inspiring, and I had to write a song for them. So we played this first live a few weeks ago at their Pizza Stock event at Tupelo Music Hall in Derry, and I'm hoping to release this on my first studio LP, which is yet to be recorded, but this is definitely on the cutting block for that.
Excellent.
This is called Flood of Tears.
I've seen the tears that can never be clean, pouring down from the faces of those in between, dark in the light where the sun never shines, who just want to live but their souls have died. They want to go back to the life from before. They want to see his face through that open door, singing his songs with his electric guitar. They wanna take him back, but he's gone too far. And they know there's nothing they can do but stay strong. With some hope, together they can sing us a song. Together they can sing us a song. Oh, I've seen your flood of tears, but still you're standing here. They watched him fade away when he turned 18. He never got to know what it's like to be free from the darkness he felt on the loneliest nights, to the battles inside that he just couldn't fight. They saw it in him when his heart hit the floor. They saw it in his eyes when he looked through the door. And all they ever wanted was to kill all his pain. They never thought they'd have to give their baby away. Walking on Sundays alone in the rain, watching the teardrops fall through his grave, with love in their hearts and promises made. Together they will never let his memory fade. Oh, 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 I've seen your flood of tears, but still you're standing here. Oh, 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 I've seen your flood of tears, but still you're standing here.
Beautiful, beautiful. Darren's here with us, SOTAH, SOTAH, live in studio. Yeah, that's a.
Very much.
You had a very nice comment. Oh, we got comments for you. Drew says, and Jody West, Daron says, you have a beautiful face. No beard necessary. So there you go.
Yeah, those are my parents. I figured they'd be in the chat today.
Yeah, I think they were last time you were on the show. I think they were in there too.
My dad called in actually last time.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah, and he asked about my Kermit tattoo because it's a running joke in my family for whatever reason that I have a Kermit tattoo.
Yeah,
they use it. One of my brothers uses that as like a line of defense if we're like in an argument. He goes, "Yeah, but you have a Kermit tattoo," as if that like hurts me or something. Like,
right.
I love the Muppets. I love Kermit. Of course, I have a tattoo.
Well, you did mention the Muppets earlier, and yeah, I remember you explaining that before too. Yeah. I remember that subject came up. Oh, that's funny. That's funny. Now, how much material does this band have? SOTAH? Do you have a lot, or?
We have a lot that's not recorded. So we have an EP that I released back in September. That was the last time I was on this show. Was promoting that. Dying Breath was a standalone single, and the very, very first single that I released was an acoustic cover of the Mighty Mighty Boss Tones' They Will Need Music.
Oh, yeah.
We have 6 songs out on Spotify and Apple Music and YouTube and wherever else.
Yeah.
And I probably have about 12 to 15 songs that we've played a couple of them live. They're not recorded yet. I'm trying to get my ducks in a row. And figure out what songs I want to put on my first full-length album. That's the next goal. I do have a song that I don't want to say too much yet because it's going to be coming out relatively soon. It's in the final mixing and mastering stages. But one of my biggest influences of all time musically is actually a guest vocalist on the song. And I wrote this song probably 2 to 3 years ago as well. And I have been itching to get this one out.
Oh.
Very excited. So that's something to expect probably late spring, early summer.
Okay.
So yeah.
Can't say who yet though, huh?
No, because it's so big and it's so big to me that I don't want to just drop it right now.
Yeah.
I think that we should set up like a whole another interview for that alone.
Okay.
In a few months because
Okay.
It's pretty big, and to me it's just I feel like all my work for the past 8 years has culminated to this point, so I'm very excited.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Very cool. Where do you record?
For the past, for the EP, I recorded everything at Blackheart Studios, which is right across the street over in right by the Manchester Music Mill.
I finally met him, Eric Souter.
Oh, he's a great guy.
Did I say his last name correctly? Souter?
Yes. Yeah.
I finally met him. I think it was a couple of months ago. Because I was at Manchester Music Mill, and I told him, I said, dude, your name comes up all the time on my show.
Yeah, he's got a great studio, and it's great. It's very homey. I definitely want to mention that he actually had very little to do with that Love Hate EP that I put out. We used his beautiful space, but it was actually Brandon Curcio from Afterimage who mixed, mastered, engineered the whole project for me.
Oh, okay.
And then the first 2 singles, They Will Need Music and Dying Breath, I recorded in my bedroom.
Yeah.
Yeah. So everything was just, it was actually, I hate to say this because I know the guitar aficionados out there are going to kill me for this, but the guitar was just direct into my computer, and I did some amp modeling.
Yeah.
For the first 2 singles, but everything after that was at Blackheart.
Well, we have the technology where you can, you can do that. Yeah.
I mean, Brandon did a phenomenal job getting it to sound like it wasn't recorded in my bedroom. So.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. Well, do you want to play another live one for us?
Absolutely. Yeah. I'm going to do a cover. It's an old one. And then we're going to throw in a couple more. It's a little medley that I put together actually.
Cool.
This week. I was playing around. I was like, this would be cool. So we're going to start off with So Lonely by the Police.
All right. Oh, sorry. I apologize.
Oh, no worries. We're going to take 2.
There we go. We're still getting used to the new studio here.
Absolutely. Beautiful studio. I love it.
Oh, thank you. We love it too. Yeah.
All right. This is So Lonely by the Police.
Well, someone told me yesterday that when you throw your love away, you act as if you just don't care. You act as if you're going somewhere. But I just can't convince myself I couldn't live with no one else. And I can only play that part and sit and nurse my broken heart. So lonely, so lonely, so lonely, so lonely, so lonely, so lonely, so lonely. Now no one's knocked upon my door for 1,000 years or more, all made up and nowhere to go. Welcome to this one-man show. Just take a seat, they're always free. No surprise, no mystery. In this theater that I call my soul, I always play the starring role. So lonely, 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 so lonely. So lonely, so lonely, so lonely. There was a place, and the name of the place escapes me, but I can't remember. It irritates me. Could be I can't remember. Could be I choose to not. Let's move the song along and try to find the plot. There was a girl, and I don't know her name either. She gave me love, and I said I'd never leave her if I did. I'll come back someday and find her. Maybe I will. I should write down a reminder one day. One day, who knows? Someday, I suppose. There was a place, and the name of the place escapes me, but I can't remember. It irritates me. Could be I can't remember. Could be I choose to not. Let's move the song along and try to find the plot. Plans I made with promises so certainly uncertain. I can't wait to sing this day before they close the curtain one day. I feel so low. Someday I feel so low. One day I feel so low. Someday I feel so low. I feel so lonely. I feel so lonely. I feel so lonely. So lonely. I feel so lonely, 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 low. I feel so low. I feel low. I feel so lonely, 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 low. I feel so lonely. I feel low. I feel so lonely, 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 low. I feel so lonely, I feel low. ever been close to tragedy or been close to folks who have? Have you ever felt the pain so powerful, so heavy you collapse? No, well, I've never had to knock on wood, but I know someone who has, which makes me wonder if I could. It makes me wonder if I've never had to knock on wood, and I'm glad I haven't yet, because I'm sure it isn't good. That's the impression that I get. Have you ever had the arms stacked up so high you need a strength most don't possess? Or has it ever come down to do or die? You got to rise above the rest. No, well, I've never had to knock on wood, but I know someone who has, which makes me wonder if I could. It makes me wonder if I've never had to knock on wood, and I'm glad I haven't yet, because I'm sure it isn't good. That's the impression that I get. I feel so low. I feel so low. I feel so lonely. I feel so lonely. I feel so lonely. I feel so lonely. I feel so lonely, 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 low. I feel so lonely. I feel low.
Very cool. That is Casey Daron. He is live with us in studio from the band SOTAH. And that sounded great.
That was great.
Yeah.
Thank you very much.
That was really good.
Very cool. Very cool. We should play another studio track.
Absolutely. Go ahead.
And what would you suggest? You have a I've got your Bandcamp open here.
Yeah, why don't you do a Shadow Over My Heart? That seems to be a little fan favorite.
Let's see.
On the Love Hate EP.
Yes, I think. Oh, here we go. Yep. Oh, wait a minute.
Wait a minute.
I see. What's that?
Why?
I see. Unfinished acoustic.
Oh,
demos.
you're looking at the...
I'm looking at the wrong thing.
Yes, that's the Love Hate demos that I released exclusively on Bandcamp, which is just my original iPhone recordings of all of those songs.
Here we go. I
yeah.
found it. Okay. All right, cool. Yeah, let's we'll give this a listen. This is Shadow Over My Heart, studio track from SOTAH.
Cheap drinks at the bar remind me I'm still here today. Tattoos on my arms cover scars of yesterday. I'll sing another song 'cause I've still got something to say. I wanna be so strong, but something's in the way. Shadow over my heart.
Shadow Over My Heart from the band SOTAH, and that is spelled SOTAH. That is from the EP Love. Is that an EP or a full?
It is a
EP, yeah. Yeah, very, very cool. Do you have a lot of songs that you play live that you haven't recorded yet?
Just a couple.
Yeah.
There's a song that we've played for about a year now, intermittently, called Sunrise, that is not released. Like I said, Flood of Tears is another one that we just started playing live.
Yeah.
Not released. And then there was one, it's a fun little song called Too Much that we've played a couple of times, where it's like a fast hardcore punk song.
Mm-hmm.
And I explicitly swear every other beat of the song. And it's a little joke. I wrote it because there's an abundance of swears in a lot of modern music.
Mm-hmm.
And I feel that it takes away the power and the weight of that word.
Right.
So when you use it so much, so I said, you know what would be funny? If I wrote a song where every beat I'm saying the F word.
Right.
So we play. It's fun to play live because we usually end the sets with that, and we're not very much a hardcore punk band. So when we play that one hardcore punk song, everyone's kind of thrown off guard.
Yeah.
Especially with all my profanity.
Right. Yeah. Yeah, because everything else is clean, which is nice. No need to make radio edits.
I don't think I can make a radio edit of that one.
Right. Yeah. No. That's like that would be like we had Kenny Trune on the show, and he's got that song.
Yes.
Don't blank this one up, and it's like
It's a really good song, but
because sometimes I will, if I have a guest who's got a song with a swear in it, I'll make a radio edit of it for the show. But I was like, I don't think I could do this with this Kenny Trune song. I don't know if you've heard it because it would ruin the song.
Right.
It would just be too much.
Well, when swears are used tastefully,
yeah,
I think they can hold a lot of power.
Yeah,
and that's kind of what the song's about.
Yeah, no, that's
as I use it untastefully the entire 2 minutes.
That's cool, and it must be a big surprise to people when they hear it.
It was a surprise to my mom, that's for sure.
Was it? Yeah. Now, do you have a lot of shows coming up?
We have one, and then we're actually going to be taking a little hiatus, and I'll talk a little bit more about that. But we have a show in Manchester, New Hampshire, Thursday, March 21st at the Shaskeen.
Excellent.
It's going to be a really fun show. It's a 603 showcase show. So we have Dead Time is opening up the show. They're a duo, actually, from New Hampshire. Then we're up second. There's a band called Day Trip. And then coming in from Chicago, there's a band called Guardrail headlining the show. So it's going to be a lot of fun. It's only $5 at the door, 21 plus, but we've got all sorts of merch that we're going to be selling, all sorts of songs, obviously.
Yeah.
And we're unveiling a brand new long sleeve tee that I'm super excited to have everyone see. It's full print, sleeve print, everything. So
nice.
Yeah. We'll have to see about getting Guardrail. That's the name of the band from Chicago.
Yes.
Yeah.
They'll be in on the 21st.
Are they on tour, or are they coming in?
Yeah, they're doing a little mini tour. Yeah.
Oh, interesting. And then so you're taking a break after that?
We're taking a little hiatus, and this is the first time I'm publicly saying this, but I'm actually going to be going on tour as a roadie, merch tech, guitar tech, all of that, with a newer band called The Defiant, which is Dickie Barrett of the Mighty Mighty Boss Tones. He has a new supergroup. So Dickie Barrett, Greg Camp from Smash Mouth, Pete Parada from The Offspring on drums, Joey LaRocca from a band called The Briggs, and then Johnny Rio from a New England band called The Street Dogs. It's a super group, and they're doing their first tour. They're opening up for Me First and the Gimme Gimmes.
Okay.
So I'm going to be hitting the road with them for through April and May. And then after that, I'm going to be tour managing a local reggae artist named Joe Samba, killer musician. That has really been blowing it up in the past year and a half.
Yeah.
So we'll be doing all sorts of festival gigs. One of his shows he's playing, actually two of the festivals that he's playing, Sublime is headlining. So it's like some pretty real deal stuff. So I'm super excited to spend the next 4 or 5 months on the road. And it puts SOTAH at kind of a standstill for a few months, but the opportunity and the connections that I will be making in the next 5 months, it would be a no-brainer. It is a no-brainer.
Be well worth it. Yeah. You ever do anything like that before?
No, this is my first time. It was funny. So I go to the Joe Samba shows all the time when he's local.
Yeah.
And we went out to lunch because he posted on his Instagram. He said, if any local musicians want to meet up and, either record music, talk music. And I was like, I'd love to talk music. So we had lunch. And about a week later, he said, hey, you interested in doing tour managing? And I'm like, oh my gosh, I don't know. Like that's a big, it's a big ask. Because I have a full-time job. I do marketing. And I was like, I don't know. I don't think I can swing it. And then a week after that, Dickie Barrett texted me and he said, hey, do you want to come on the road with us? And I was like, all right, I get it. This is a sign.
Right.
Like, I think this is my calling. I think this is something I need to do.
Yep.
So I said, you know what? This is my passion. So I'm doing both tours. And
wow.
I'm very excited about it.
Yeah. Good for you.
Thank you.
Yeah, absolutely. Will there be any opportunities, do you think, on these tours for you to play?
I don't think, definitely with the Defiant, that's a no-go because they're an opener for, like I said, Me First and the Gimme Gimmes.
Oh, right.
And they're playing some killer, like they're playing Big Night Live in Boston. They're doing House of Blues, Orlando, like some really, really good venues.
Yeah.
Joe Samba, he's expressed interest. He said, maybe one day we might get to open, which would be a dream. I love him. And he's a really cool guy. So nothing's official. I'd love for that to happen. So we'll see one day.
Yeah. Because I assume you'll bring your guitar, right?
Oh, of course. I mean, we'll all be talking music the whole time. So
now the Defiant, are they? Do they have an album? Have they recorded anything? Oh, okay.
Yeah, they just released an album, full-length album that I actually appeared on. I did some vocals.
Oh, no kidding.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
They released that back in October. It's called If We're Really Being Honest.
Yeah.
Phenomenal album. They're kind of a misunderstood band, and I won't get into the details of that, but all I can say about the Defiant is that they are some of the nicest, down-to-earth people that you'll ever meet. And all of them have just shown me such grace and kindness and compassion and love.
Yeah.
So I think that people need to, just give them a second and take a listen to the music.
Yeah.
They're all coming from these huge bands.
Yeah.
And they just put out a killer album, killer product. So I'm very excited about that opportunity.
Cool.
Yeah.
Are the Bosstones doing anything, or are they done?
No, they broke up.
Officially, they're.
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Based on interviews with Dickie, he would love to be in the Bosstones.
Yeah.
But given what he is singing about and the lyrical content that he is pushing at this point in his career, I don't think some of the members of the Bosstones really wanted that enveloped in their band. A lot of it is political. And the Bosstones have always been political, but we're at such a divisive point in the country.
Yeah.
America is so divided that if you say anything the wrong way politically,
oh yeah,
half of the country cancels you, half the country praises you. And I think that's the problem is that, the Bosstones just didn't feel comfortable with the lyrical content that he wanted to put out.
Yeah.
And the reason I love Dickie Barrett is that he's singing these songs about what he stands up for, what he believes in, but never once does he tell you this is how you should believe. He is always like, you make your decision. This is what I believe, and this is what I stand for. And I really appreciate that sentiment because there are bands out there that are like, this is what you need to follow, and if you don't follow that, then you're dead to us.
Right.
I've always appreciated about that about Dickie and the Bosstones, where it's always been make your own decision. We're here to question things. We're here to question the government, question all sorts of things. But at the end of the day, it's your choice, and you do what you want to do with your life.
Yeah. Now, when does that start? When does that tour start?
That starts. I fly out to Chicago. That is April 15th, I believe, and then that goes through May 5th.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so we'll be doing pretty much an East Coast run. We'll go up to Canada, come down through Maine, Boston, then obviously New York. You got to do New York.
Yep.
Trek our way down to Atlanta, and then a couple of stops in Florida.
Yeah. Wow. Cool.
Yeah.
Cool. Outstanding.
Are you flying out of Manchester?
I don't know yet. I'm going to have a little phone call chat with the band manager next week, so we'll see. I'm assuming not.
I might see you. I'm flying the 15th.
Oh, really? Oh, that's funny. Where are you going?
Can't tell you.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it's a surprise.
Oh, very nice. Very nice.
No, that's cool though. That you're getting to do that. So now, do you have? So you probably don't have any shows book because it's hard to, even long term, it's hard to know when you'll be wrapped up, all of that, right?
Beyond this show in 2 weeks, I don't have anything booked.
Yeah.
But when I come back in the fall, maybe even late summer, I really want to do a homecoming SOTAH show.
Yeah.
And just, plan it all, get some bands that I love on the bill, and bring it back. Because we have a lot in store. I don't want to, concern any of the listeners that we're stopping. There's so much on the plate. Like I said, we have about 15 unrecorded songs. I want to release a full album. I'd love to tour.
Yeah.
But it's just, I'm teaching myself that I have to be a little patient with these things, as my girlfriend can attest.
Yeah.
Yes.
Well, Casey, this has been wonderful. It's great to see you. Thank you for coming in.
Oh, thank you so much for having me.
Sound great. Absolutely. What should our listeners know in terms of where to find you online, where to keep up with everything that you're doing?
I'm on everything. I'm on Facebook, Instagram. If you look up SOTAH Band, SOTAH New Hampshire, whatever, you'll find me, SOTAH. We're on every streaming platform. We have music videos and live video on YouTube. So just look up SOTAH, SOTAH. We post silly stuff. We post serious stuff. We post about our shows, our music, all of that. And like I said, we're playing the Shaskeen in Manchester, New Hampshire on Thursday, March 21st. $5 at the door, 21 plus. I'm super excited about it. Like I said, it's kind of our farewell show for a few months.
Yeah.
So I'd love to see some friends out there. I'd love to see some new faces.
Yeah.
It's going to be a really fun time.
Yeah. Outstanding. We'll actually close out in a moment with one more studio track.
Yeah.
Great stuff. But Jenny, do you remember who we have? Do you know who we have next week offhand?
Who do we have next week?
I know we have
got
a pretty stacked show.
The Pop Farmers coming in.
Yep.
Jesse Coffey will be returning with some originals.
Yes.
And we'll have a Skyping guest from Texas, Miss Nancy Manette. Will be introducing herself to our listeners.
Very good. All right. And doesn't look like we've had any technical glitches today. So the show should be up and available, today's show, in just a little bit, both in video and audio form. We've had some gremlins on some weeks here as we continue to settle into the new space, but overall it's all been quite wonderful. And of course, if you miss any part of today's show, it will be up in just a little bit, as far as I can tell, at WMNHradio.org and at my website, mattconnarton.com, and we'll throw the video up on YouTube and all that good stuff. And thank you, everybody. Thank you, everyone in the Facebook live chat, and of course, everyone who participates. And Jenny, you want to plug your website too?
Absolutely. Come check me out at jenncoffey.com, JENNCOFFEY.com. I will be speaking next week on one of the invited guests on a live stream. Go to my blog. You can find out more information on where I'm speaking and what we're talking about.
Yes, absolutely. All right. And by the way, thank you again to Eric from Temple Mountain for joining us in the first hour. That was wonderful. Do you know him? Do you know Temple Mountain?
No, I just heard of them today because of you.
Yeah. Super talented guy. I love his voice. Just really, really good. But we will close with one more track from SOTAH. And again, that is spelled SOTAH for those of you looking online, and I encourage you to do so. What should we close out with, Casey?
Why don't you do Better Than You? That's another one that the fans seem to really like, and I like it too.
Oh, I like this one too, because I remember we played this last time, and this is really good. So we will close out with this, and again, thanks everybody, and we'll talk at you a little bit later.
Bye-bye.
Show. You wanna see me low? See a couple of tears to make you feel better. Hey, I see you in front row, but little do you know, I might be down, but I'm still doing better than you. Yeah, you and Andrew are afraid that we'll find better days, and somehow I know that it's not meant for you. To make me feel crazy, I might be down, but I'm
to the Hop Knot at 1000 Elm Street, Manchester's premier craft beer and gourmet pretzel bar. Tell us more, Trudy.
We make our dough fresh every day. We make a variety of styles of pretzels and serve craft beer, cocktails, and a few bottles of wine. We do the traditional pretzel, and we have multiple flavors for that. We also do stuffed pretzels, pretzel sandwiches, free dessert pretzels, and pretzel knots.
The Hop Knot in the Brady Sullivan Plaza at 1000 Elm Street.
This hour on WMNH is sponsored by CGI Business Solutions.